Chapter 885. Chapter 885. Yi Zaiwen's arrival, everyone in the Wang family exclaimed, but they were helpless as they watched one of their companions being caught by a vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert in front of them was more potent than the burning corpse in their previous encounter. Just the burning corpse alone could drive them into a mess, let alone a vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert. Not to mention that besides him, there were Bai Chen and 7 other experts. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's lineup was enough to slaughter their group. Compared with the overlord of this sea region, like the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, even if the entire Wang family and the forces in South Initiate Island were here, they were still terrifying weak, let alone a small group of them. Wang Mingyu clenched her petite hands until veins popped up on the back of her hands. Her fists clenched with blood dripping down unbeknownst to her. The injury was sole because of anger. Anger was soaring in this pair of beautiful eyes. She was looking straight at the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts helplessly. They were unmatched even if they were to face off just one of the crocodile clan members as a group. They could only be submissive. If that time comes, they would have to launch a suicidal attack. They would not be obediently caught. The only thing that gave her some hope was that they had nothing to do with Yi Xiangshan's death. Even though they secretly guessed that Yi Shiwen was related, it was still just a guess. All in all, they were innocent. If one of the disciples was forcefully undergone soul search, they still had hoped to survive. Wang Mingyu hoped these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan members could let them go after learning the truth. Ah! The Wang family disciple shouted agonizingly. His head was under the crocodile clan expert's grasp. Clusters of black light enveloped him, pulling out his soul. Under the constant tearing to the soul, the expert was looking for the information he wanted. Pain incurred on the soul was many folds to the pain on the physical body. Even the strongest person could not withstand such pain. Everyone in the Wang family could only clench their fists and suppress their anger when they heard such a voice. They could not do anything since they all knew who was in control of their life and death. All their resistance would be in vain. They could only comply obediently in front of the death's door. Facing the death of this Wang family disciple, they had no choice but to let it go, particularly Wang Feiyun. His eyes were bloodshot. Since his debut, he had never encountered such an event. He was humiliated by the other party unreservedly. He had the confidence to challenge Wu Chenhai, but not the case for these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan transcendent realm 5th level experts. Any one of them was beyond Wang Menjia's father, Wang Yanghua. Such a lineup was enough to wipe out the Wang family several times. He couldn't just act selfishly and impose a dire situation on the Wang family, but he hated this feeling. I absolutely can't let this happen again in the future. Damn bastard. Vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, I will surely raise your clan one day in the future. Wang Feiyun was extremely resentful. After some time, the Wang family's disciple, who was still wailing and screaming, finally stopped screaming. Qis escaped his body. The tensions in the eyes dissipated. In the end, the vigor ran clean. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's expert finally read all the memories, frowning, and said, "This thing is strange. These petty humans have nothing to do with this matter. They don't know anything at all." The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert casually threw the corpse of the Wang family's disciple aside. He was baffled. The reason why they came to trouble the Wang family was their suspicion that Wang family was related to Yi Xiangshan's death, albeit Wang family's close relation with Yi Shiwen. He did not expect to learn anything after reading through the memories. Since we have verified clearly that it has nothing to do with us, let us go. Wang Mingyu stepped forward and said. Then, she immediately led everyone from the Wang family to leave. Wait a minute. When did I say you may go? Blurted Bai Chen. facing vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Their faces stiffened immediately. They turned around with anger boiling more intensely in their hearts. "Since it has nothing to do with us, why can't we leave?" said Wang Feiyun indignantly. "When did I say that you can't leave when it isn't related to you all?" Bai Chun smirked cruelly as if he witnessed some funny joke. "How could you? Since it has nothing to do with us, why do you still trouble us? We don't know anything about Yi Xiangshan's death," said a Wang family young expert angrily. He finally could not bear it anymore. For them, these vanishing, shadow-poisonous crocodile clan experts were too overbearing. They were treated like playthings. No matter the truth, they would not be able to escape their fate. "You are planning to kill all of us for no reason." "So what? It's just a few humans. What reasons do we need to ask ourselves for reasons? It's ridiculous." A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert laughed. "It's just your wishful thinking. Do you think you can leave just because it has nothing to do with you?" "Humph, you're related to the kid. That's your unforgivable death sentence." "Do you think that there are no experts among us humans? Sooner or later, you will arouse public outrage. Once it arouses the collective hostility of our human experts, even your vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan will be wiped out." Wang Mingyu immediately stepped forward and said, "Even if our clans are weak, we are also the first-class clans on the mainland. Your vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan is only the second-class race." Wang Menjius' words immediately delighted everyone in the Wang family, venting their bitter feelings. Indeed, the human race was scattered but in great numbers. The Endless Sea region was not a human domain, but the human race was also one of the few clans fighting for sovereignty. Vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan was nothing but just a second-class race. If it aroused the human experts' anger, wiping the race out was only a matter of time. It was just that many major clans were dragging human experts down. The current human situation was indeed declining. Almost all the major clans had shown blatant hostility towards humans and wanted to invade human territories. Therefore, the real human experts all gathered on the ancient Barrens continent. Those living in the wilderness could only face the oppression of these different clans silently. The overall situation for humans was too unfavorable. Even the warriors in the Endless Sea region also recognized it. The elders would warn their disciples to be submissive. The vanishing, shadow-poisonous crocodile clan experts had sour faces. The Sea clan was a behemoth that could compete with human clans. But their vanishing, shadow-poisonous crocodile clan was just one of the Sea clans. Their clan group wasn't anything too significant, which was their sore spot. Kill. Kill all these humans. Leave me that human woman. I want her to be a bitch that serves all of us well. They will suffer a fate worse than death. Kill them all. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts with their sore spot stabbed became more hideous and cruel. Their relaxed manner was long gone. They had no intention of releasing the Wang family, no matter the truth. Wang Menjius' words offended them further. Indeed, human races were divided, but they were the same race group. The Sea clan was composed of many sea races. It was a general term for them. Fight till the end. Wang Mingyu yelled. All the qi over her body instantly surged. Perhaps, compared with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts in front of them, they were too weak. They had no option to retreat in the end. Fight against these bastards. It's either you die or I die. I'm still a hero. Kill them. Everyone in the Wang family had their blood boiling. War cry echoed. Go. Kill these petty humans. I want them to suffer a fate worse than death. Bai Chun gave an order. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts dispatched together. A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert dashed forward with a shadow shimmering. He confronted the Wang family directly. His attack had no pauses. But at this time, A shrieking sonic boom streaked across the sky. A fiery saber aura fell from the sky, cut through the vast sky, and swooshed down instantly. Puff! Before the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert managed to let out his last scream, his entire head was chopped off. Chapter 886. Chapter 886. Terrifying Yi Shiwen. Who? The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan reacted swiftly, almost immediately. The scene just now was too shocking for them. A clan member was beheaded without any resistance. Pa! 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 A series of footsteps came from a distance. A cyan figure appeared in front of everyone. Brother Yi! Brother Yi! When everyone in the Wang family saw this cyan figure, they immediately exclaimed. It turned out to be Yi Shiwen. It's you, bastard! Bai Chen narrowed his eyes in surprise. That fiery saber aura was so familiar. It turned out to be Yi Shiwen. More importantly, he thought that Yi Shiwen was already dead after rushing into the flame. When they came in, they didn't see Yi Zaiwen's body. Naturally, they just assumed he was burned to ashes. They didn't investigate further either. To their surprise, the person they long thought was dead had resurrected. You dare to kill members from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan? A Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert roared. Previous Yi Xiangshan's death was just their guess. Now it was blatant to the eye. Worse still, Transcendent Realm 5th level Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's elite stood more importance than Yi Shangtian. Yi Xiangshan's death did not matter much. In this endless sea region, the death count of warriors every day was ridiculous. It was no exception even in the case of a tyrant force, Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. They came here primarily for the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion. Yi Xiangshan's death was secondary to them. They didn't care much at all. It was just that they didn't expect to find Yi Shiwen by accident. But the time had changed. Yi Shiwen killed the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan under their noses. This was a naked provocation. They would not let Yi Shiwen go no matter what now. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan were in rage. Yi Xiangshan's death? Who the hell is he? Not only him, but all of you shall also go to hell. Yi Shiwen squinted his eyes and said, Where's Yi Ying? Too bad, he can't be your companion to hell. Hearing Yi Zaiwen's arrogant taunt, many Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts immediately felt a sense of irritation. As the overlord of this nearby sea region, Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan had never encountered a person who belittled them like this. Eradicate us in one shot. Are we tofu to you? Yi Zaiwen's contemptuous attitude intensely annoyed them. It was indifference from the heart. It made them feel uncomfortable, as if they were experiencing chest distress. No one had despised the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan like this. It was a blatant slap to their faces. You're digging your grave. No one can help you all anymore. When there's a path to heaven, you're still walking into hell, said Bai Chun coldly. Help? Who do I need to help me? You should be worried about yourself. Who will be saving you all today? Yi Zaiwen's dense qi began to surge, setting off a horrific wave. His aura alone unexpectedly overwhelmed the combined aura of these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts. It was the first display of the Transcendent Realm 2nd level's might. It offered a completely different feeling from the Transcendent Realm 1st level. At Transcendent Realm 1st level, Yi Shiwen was still a little restrained in front of these people. After attaining the Transcendent Realm 2nd level, his cultivation had greatly improved. Sure enough, his combat power went through earth-shaking changes as well. At this time, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts finally began to face Yi Shiwen seriously. Since Yi Shiwen had confronted them directly, then obviously he had some preparation and some confidence. They finally realized that Yi Shiwen was different from the past and remembered what they had forgotten just because of anger. Yi Shiwen beheaded a vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert at Transcendent Realm 5th level in one slash. Kill him. Even if he makes progress, can he be on par with us? Said Bai Chun coldly. He didn't believe in his heart that Yi Shiwen could contend with so many experts by himself. With one death, there were still 8 Transcendent Realm 5th level experts. The overwhelming numbers advantage was adequate. There was nothing to fear at all. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were shocked when they heard this. Yes, we have more numbers than the brat in front of them. Yi Shiwen caught us off guard just now. We have nothing to fear at all. All of them lunged toward Yi Shiwen in an instant. Every vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert seemed to transform into massive crocodiles, waving huge steel claws and grabbing toward their opponent. There was an instant whistling sound all around. The overpowering wind set off, fanning toward Yi Shiwen loudly. Yi Shiwen finally moved. The wood-burning saber technique in his hand instantly set ablaze. Since he had been transformed into a phoenix physique, albeit not perfected, it was enough to improve Yi Zaiwen's fire affinity. The incomplete wood-burning saber technique quickly reached the power of advanced human level. To accentuate it further, the surrounding environment was conducive to this technique. Wood-burning saber technique improved further into elite human level in Yi Zaiwen's hand. Horrific energies instantly swept through layers of fire waves, expanding in all directions, which immediately stunned many vanishing, shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. The martial technique at elite human level was just a luxury for them. Only Crown Prince Crocodile practiced the martial techniques at elite human level. Yi Ying might have the opportunity to learn in the future, but they would not get their turn. Compared with the power at advanced human level only, wood-burning saber technique's power that reached elite human level had changed drastically. Coupled with Yi Zaiwen's tyrannical strength, wood-burning saber technique summoned unimaginable heat waves. How could he be so much stronger all of a sudden? The fastest vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert had pounced in front of Yi Shiwen. Since he was the closest to Yi Shiwen, he could feel the horror within Yi Zaiwen's momentum. But at the critical moment, he could not afford to dawdle deep in his thoughts. He manifested a giant beast claw and grabbed toward Yi Shiwen. The beast claw was seemingly tearing the sky at the moment it grabbed towards Yi Shiwen. Clang! The fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand was drawn in an instant. A brilliant fiery saber light blinded the battlefield, clashing toward the approaching beast claw. Puff! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber instantly cut the entire beast claw in half. The fiery long saber slash was advancing unabated. It directly crushed the oncoming big hand from the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, detonating the hand into a bloody mess. Ah! The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert screamed agonizingly. He retreated crazily as he held his hand. The elite human level martial technique was far more potent than he had anticipated. It was a stark contrast to Yi Zaiwen's strength previously displayed. This made him suffer a horrific loss just after the match. But Yi Shiwen didn't intend to let him go. He followed up with a mysterious pace and instantly caught up. In terms of speed, Yi Shiwen was second to none. Puff! Yi Shiwen raised his saber. The fiery saber aura instantly slashed into the opponent's body. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert was directly chopped in half. Blood splashed out with his vitality, immediately cut off. His body gradually became cold, and he fell instantly from mid-air to the ground. All of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's experts finally panicked. This clash was unlike the previous one. Previously was of an ambush nature, but what had happened right now was a direct confrontation. However, the nature of it made no real difference in a life-and-death battle. These experts finally realized that the Yi Shiwen in front of them had some great harvest making him so terrifying. Initially, Yi Shiwen was unmatched to an ordinary Transcendent Realm 5th level expert. But as of now, any regular Transcendent Realm 5th level expert would not be able to sustain even a single slash from him. Go. We can't retreat now. It's either his death or our death. Bai Chun yelled immediately and rushed towards Yi Shiwen first. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts also reacted in time. They had no time to cower in fear. Otherwise, Yi Shiwen would defeat them one by one, ending up killing all of them. After witnessing the glaring moves from Yi Shiwen, they knew the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's prestige was nothing to him. Yi Shiwen was simply an outlaw. Their only way to survive was to defeat Yi Shiwen. Bai Chen's speed was the fastest. He appeared in front of Yi Shiwen like a bolt of green lightning. In his palm, the saber appeared, drawing a dangerous arc in the sky, and slashed directly at Yi Zaiwen's throat. Yi Shiwen didn't even bat an eye. He turned his hand over, launched another slash with his saber, and instantly clashed with Bai Chen's saber. Boom! Horrifying power swept out a shockwave. Bai Chen's body was directly blasted out alongside the shockwave. He could not help but puke a mouthful of blood. Chapter 887. Chapter 887. Inevitable Clash. Yi Shiwen, who had integrated the Star Beast's bloodline, coupled with the tyrant body, had already reached a terrifying point in sheer strength. Yi Shiwen had completely overwhelmed Bai Chen in speed too. The winning factor this time for Bai Chen was the ambush. However, in the face of Yi Zaiwen's speed that was much faster, the ambush was merely a joke. Yi Shiwen bombarded him into a distance. Shwa! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber slashed out 6 shadows in the sky unobstructed. These shadows slashed towards the 6 Transcendent Realm 5th level Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts who pounced over him. Puff! 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 Cracking sounds of saber aura invading these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts' bodies echoed the battlefield. They were all beheaded in half on the spot, suffering an utter defeat under Yi Zaiwen's hands. These Transcendent Realm 5th level experts were considered elites. In the face of Yi Shiwen, they could not sustain a single clash. Everyone in the Wang family was stupefied at the sight. In fact, these opponents were the elite of the Transcendent Realm 5th level experts. Wang Yonghua was about this level too. At most, he was a tad bit stronger than the opponents. The Crocodile Clan's group was adequate to wipe out the entire Wang family. To the Wang family's surprise, this group could not sustain even a single blow from Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen is ridiculously strong. Although they knew Yi Shiwen was strong, what happened exceeded their expectations. Initially, Yi Shiwen was regarded as someone at the level capable of defeating Wu Qinhai. No one knew how he ascended to this caliber in such a short period. Most importantly, Yi Zaiwen's aura seemed to be just at the Transcendent Realm 2nd level. Wang Feiyun was also at the Transcendent Realm 2nd level, while Wang Mingyu was at Transcendent Realm 2nd level peak. But none of them was comparable to Yi Shiwen. After recalling that Yi Shiwen had easily defeated Wu Qinhai and others when he was in half-step Transcendent Realm before, they were no longer surprised. Although this incident gave them a great shock as they felt that Yi Shiwen was abnormal, it would not be more eccentric than defeating Transcendent Realm during half-step Transcendent Realm previously. He is way too strong. The opponent suffered an utter defeat with no way of retaliating. A one-sided slaughter. A Wang family's disciples said in great sentiment after having a new understanding of Yi Zaiwen's strength. Yeah, he is too strong, way over our league, said Wang Feiyun ruefully. Wang Mingyu on the side nodded in a daze. Yep, he is too strong. He can defeat someone at my father's caliber unbeknownst to us. Heroes are limitless. Only after life challenges could they achieve something big. She was glad that she brought back Yi Shiwen on a whim. Otherwise, How could the current Wang family be so prestigious? Worse still, they would not be able to get any slots to enter the spiritual volcano. Yi Shiwen didn't bother with what everyone in the Wang family was thinking. After killing the remaining 6 vanishing, shadow, poisonous crocodile clan members, Bai Qin, whom he had blasted out, had no intention to linger in the fight, but turned around and left. He learned his lesson. He naturally realized he encountered a formidable foe. Yi Shiwen was so terrifying that he could kill a Transcendent Realm 5th level expert in just a second. He who was elite in the realm was easily defeated too. However, it was precisely because of this that he decided to turn around and leave immediately. Probably, Ying could beat the abnormal opponent in front of him. As for Crown Prince Crocodile, it had the image of God in his mind. Defeating Yi Shiwen would be a piece of cake. As for himself, he naturally knew that he was no longer the opponent of Yi Shiwen, who had become stronger now. So he could only rely on Ying to defeat Yi Shiwen. His speed was breakneck, effective for surprise attacks. Not much his opponent could do about it. Utilizing his expertise to escape, he was not slow. Brother Yi, stop him. We can't let him escape. Wang Mingyu hurriedly yelled. If Bai Chun escaped, their Wang family was likely to be the next target of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Yi Shiwen could disregard it, since his foundation was not here. Leaving the place would allow him to solve all his troubles. However, it was not the same for the Wang family. They could not disregard their home. Once Bai Chun escaped, the Wang family and even the South Initiate Island would be wiped out. The crocodile clan's vengeful attitude was evident in history after all. Without her commenting further, Yi Shiwen had already gone into pursuit. Yi Shiwen would not let him go. Although Bai Chen's speed was daunting, Yi Shiwen was much faster, especially after activating Demon Wings. Yi Shiwen caught up almost instantly. Bai Chen had been paying attention to what happened behind him. However, he did not expect that Yi Shiwen would rush over at such a terrifying speed. He had always been proud of his speed, but Yi Zaiwen's speed was way more advanced than him in a considerable gap. If Bai Chen's speed was like a bolt of green lightning, then Yi Zaiwen's speed was blatant instant teleportation. Yi Shiwen arrived behind him almost instantly. Chong! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber was set ablaze. It swooshed down, streaking across the sky, and struck Bai Chen. Boom! Bai Chen suffered fatal damage. He failed to maintain his flight, directly plunged into the ground like a meteor. A crater was punched directly on the floor. The bones of his body had seemingly been crushed. He laid in the pit motionless. Yi Zaiwen's power was too great, seemingly peerless. How could Yi Shiwen let go of such an opportunity? He dived to his opponent and slashed his fiery long saber immediately. Boom! In the crater, a small mushroom cloud rose. Bai Chun was directly beheaded on the spot. As these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were beheaded, everyone in the Wang family breathed a sigh of relief. If any of them were allowed to escape, it would be disastrous. They felt secure after learning that every crocodile clan member present was eliminated. After beheading Bai Chen, Yi Shiwen approached the Wang family. Brother Yi, it is good to see that you're fine. Wang Mingyu said, You save us once again. Wang Mingyu smiled a little bitterly. This was not the first time Yi Shiwen saved all of them. This feeling made her smile a little bitterly. It's nothing. It's a piece of cake, but I think you'd better go back first. This place is not suitable for you, said Yi Shiwen. Everyone in the Wang family glanced at each other. Although Yi Shiwen said it implicitly, they still understood that they would be dragging Yi Shiwen down if they continued their adventure here. Their ending was only death at this place. In the face of these transcendent realm-burning corpses, the Wang family's strength was too weak. They could manage to escape if it was a lone zombie. They would be long dead already if they encountered a group of them. We have this intention too, replied Wang Mingyu. Compared to the outside world, the danger in the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion was much greater. It happened that Yi Shiwen had also proposed that. She rode along with the current and left this dangerous place. Since they wanted to go out, Yi Shiwen didn't say much. He sent them away from the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, killing several waves of burning corpses that detected them. After sending them out of the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, Yi Shiwen went back and entered the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. Yi Shiwen, who returned to Holy Realm Dweller's mansion again, was not in a shackle like previously. After reaching the Transcendent Realm second level, his combat power was undoubtedly much higher. The burning corpse, which was able to cause trouble to him previously, was unmatched to him. He soon passed through multiple palaces one after another and came to the central area of the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion Palace cluster. There were already many warriors gathered here. No matter which direction they came in previously, they were all here now. But above this palace, the number of burning corpses had also increased. Squads of burning corpses rushed in almost from time to time. It seemed that they were also attracted by the vital energy and blood of these warriors. For these zombies, no matter what kind of zombie, vital energy and blood were always tempting. The vital energy and blood of these warriors were thousands of times that of ordinary people. In the eyes of these burning corpses, it was the best supplement. Yi Shiwen noticed that almost all of the warriors in front of him were concentrated in front of the hall and hesitated. There was Yao, Qian, Ying, the one expert he met in front of Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce, Qidong, and Scarlet Thunder Immortal, who he defeated previously. He didn't know did Scarlet Thunder Immortal gain any harvest during this period. She had stepped into the Transcendent Realm 5th level and directly became the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. The aura was much more potent than the previous Bai Qin. Needless to say, her combat power too. These 4 people faintly led these warriors. They made frequent attempts into the hall. Chapter 888. Chapter 888. Fire Spiritual Pool. Yishuan looked in the direction of the central hall again. 5 powerful burning corpses were wandering in the middle of the hall. Their glaring scarlet eyes were scary. Yi Shiwen secretly evaluated his circumstances at the bottom of his heart. Scarlet Thunder Immortal and Yi Ying were both superior to Bai Chen's level. Although all of them were Transcendent Realm 5th level peak, there was a stark difference in strength. Like Wang Feiyun and Wang Mingyu, they were in the same realm, but their strengths were vastly different. Sure enough, Yi Shiwen had a deep grudge with Scarlet Thunder Immortal and Yi Ying. Seemingly, there would be an inevitable clash with the opponent. These people gathered here to break in the palace gates, guarded by these zombies, and enter the palace. Evidently, there was something in this palace that attracted the crowd. Yi Shiwen suddenly remembered a fire spiritual pool at the central palace was marked on the map. This fire spiritual pool had extraordinary abilities. Legend said that it was a pool filled with flame. Once every interval, this pool would spew out countless flames, which would subsequently condense into flame essence. Needless to say, the flame essence was a valuable treasure for those cultivating fire attribute martial techniques. If one were to swallow it, then he would have his fire affinity boosted. For them, they could ascend their cultivation realm in a short time with no ramifications. Moreover, the fire spiritual pool would spew many treasures as the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion Palace group opened. Someone had realized that and took control of the place. Over time, that place became the foundation, and an elite sect was formed. The crowd's goal was apparent, the fire spiritual pool in the main hall. Entering it would not be an easy feat. The 5 burning corpses guarding the place were alerted. Their gazes reflected their vigilance to the surrounding warriors. If they were not confined here, Yi Shiwen assumed all of them would have rushed out. They would not be merely roaring at the palace gate. The 5 burning corpses exuded a frightening aura. The worst 2 of them had the Transcendent Realm 6th level strength, which was higher than the warrior who came. The burning corpse, taller than the others, took the lead. The corpse leader was at Transcendent Realm 8th level. Worse still, There were 2 of the corpses at Transcendent Realm 7th level. For these warriors, it was undoubtedly a significant obstacle. Rushing into the palace would not be a simple matter. The Transcendent Realm 7th level burning corpse could slap a person into pieces. This was also the reason why those warriors hesitated, because the opposing zombies were too scary. However, as time passed, more than 200 warriors gathered at the entrance of this hall, all of whom were experts above the Transcendent Realm 3rd level. There were Transcendent Realm 5th level peak experts, including Scarlet Thunder Immortal, Qidong, Yao Qian, etc. Let's rush in. If we don't rush in, we will never have a chance again when the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion is closed. A warrior with bloodshot eyes suggested. The fire spiritual pool was too tempting. They had turned a blind eye to the threat of the burning corpses. More than 200 experts have gathered on the scene. At this time, there was still some hope to rush in. Everyone thought they could go in by a fluke. Probably these burning corpses would be busy dealing with others, and not them. Yesterday, I saw that Unparalleled Sword and Crown Prince Crocodile had already rushed in first with no news of them anymore. Maybe they have harvested all the benefits. If we don't rush in, then there is no chance. A warrior incited. That's right. We can't let them take away everything good. We don't have much time. If we dawdle further, we will lose this opportunity. The others echoed. These people couldn't help it anymore. Seeing that the Crown Prince Crocodile or Unparalleled Sword would harvest all the flame essence from the fire spiritual pool, how could they still be able to bear it? Let's rush in. We Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan will treat you kindly. Yi Ying took the initiative. He was already unable to bear it. Crown Prince Crocodile had preempted him to enter the core palace. No more news of him since then. Certainly, Yi Ying would not think that Crown Prince Crocodile was dead. Although he did not want to admit it, Crown Prince Crocodile was relatively fortunate. He would not die easily in this place. Since he was already a step slower, Crown Prince Crocodile would monopolize everything if he did not go in now. At that time, the gap between Crown Prince Crocodile and him would only get bigger and bigger. This was something that he absolutely could not tolerate. After all, he deemed Crown Prince Crocodile as his rival. Crown Prince Crocodile must not develop further. I can't just watch this happening idly. He had to take the lead first. He was outmatched to Crown Prince Crocodile, who was capable of rushing in directly. If he were to rush in now, those burning corpses would tear him into pieces. There would be no second chances. The other experts at his caliber were sly. No one was willing to rush in and became cannon fodder first. They did not want the others to reap benefits from their efforts. All of them were seemingly greedy for their gain. Yi Ying could only try to trick the lone wolves. Despite them being slightly weaker, they were still experts. They must not be underestimated. Array. War cry came from a crowd. 200 warriors rushed out. After they rushed out, the others couldn't help it anymore and followed suit. No one wanted to be left behind. Those at the last would not acquire the flame essence from the fire spiritual pool, which was why they were here. Most importantly, the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion would not open indefinitely. It would be closed soon. They must all go out before the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion closes. Otherwise, they would be stuck here for countless years, which was intolerable to them. After someone took the lead for a while, everyone couldn't help it. The massive crowd rushed towards that hall, including those at Yi Ying's caliber. The 200 warriors were elites in the Transcendent Realm. Their dashing speed spread out a hefty air current. They were like the cavalries on the battlefield, penetrating the defense line of these 5 burning corpses directly. Yi Shiwen just followed behind these people and rushed in without revealing his superior speed. At this time, everyone had only one thought. I need to rush in, and I can't slow down. Once that happens, the burning corpses will target me straight away. Yi Shiwen had just entered the palace and saw a few warriors with slower speed fallen in the burning corpse's grasp. The sharp claws proclaimed these warriors death on the spot. Agonizing screams accompanied the burning process of their bodies into ashes. The burning corpses absorbed the deceased's blood essence. The scene was terrifying, sending chills to the witness's spine. However, their deaths also bought enough time for the other warriors ahead. This was also the goal of the warriors in the crowd. They were all hoping that the others suffered a terrible death instead of them. The humans' greed vividly manifested at this time. But at this moment, Yi Shiwen saw Ying and Yao Qian, who took the lead, almost instantly, rushing through the 5 burning corpses' defense line. Their strength was the most tyrannical among the crowd. They were abusing the individual cultivators to drag the burning corpses behind and rushed into the hall in that time window. When the burning corpses saw someone rushing over, they became frenzied. But they were still helpless to it. The other warriors were slowing the burning corpses down. If these burning corpses decided to pursue them, more people would be able to come in. Their only remaining intelligence made them furious at this time. When the burning corpses of Transcendent Realm 6th level became frenzied, each warrior close to them was killed in one move. But even so, there were still more than a dozen people who followed Ying and rushed directly into the hall. Without exception, they were all the best among Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. Among the 200 warriors, they belonged to the top. After experiencing the initial chaos, these 5 burning corpses slowly regained their initiative. The flawed defense line soon recovered. It became more difficult for the warriors to rush in. At this time, many warriors were in despair. Under the joint defense of these burning corpses, they were helpless. They did not have the absolute strength of the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak warriors to rush in. At this time, they could only fight and retreat towards the outside of the hall. At this moment, a cyan figure rushed in at a terrifying speed, surpassing most people instantly. He ran towards a burning corpse at the Transcendent Realm 6th level. The warriors who went in all challenged the burning corpse at Transcendent Realm 6th level. Opponents at Transcendent Realm 7th level and Transcendent Realm 8 Heaven were too overwhelming. They couldn't breach the defense line that way. The burning corpse went furious. It intended to slap Yi Shiwen to death. To his surprise, the cyan figure stopped in midair, barely avoiding the approaching ghostly claw. With another leap, he penetrated the defense line directly. Chapter 889. Chapter 889. Yi Shiwen was overwhelming. Yi Shiwen moved extremely fast, passing through the space in an instant. Many people even thought that he teleported. Once Yi Shiwen breached the defense line, he rushed to the center hall without stopping. Behind him, there was still the roaring of the burning corpses. Although the burning corpses kept roaring, they did not chase over. The map had indicated that these burning corpses would only guard the main hall's entrance. They would not pursue further those who rushed past them. With that, those who succeeded in breaching the burning corpses stood a chance to obtain the flame essence in the fire spiritual pool. When Yi Shiwen arrived, there was already a battle in the center hall. In the center of the hall, there was a large fire pool about 1 kilometer long. In the center of the fire pool, countless flames were in a rampage. Red, white, and blue. Various colors of flames all entangled together. Yi Shiwen was sure that he did not go to the wrong place because of the oncoming heat waves. There was indeed the fire spiritual pool. The warriors who arrived first had already fought against one another. The superior ones were naturally Ying, Scarlet Thunder Immortal, Yao Qian, and Qidong. They were unrivaled in the group of around 20 people. According to the map, there should be a flame essence near the fire spiritual pool, but Yi Shiwen didn't see it at first glance. It was obviously taken away by those who came first. Yi Shiwen was still a step late. He looked around and saw that there were 2 or 3 pieces that had not been taken away, but they were still being snatched. Several people were competing for these pieces. Shoo! One of the pieces flew out of the group, contesting. flying straight towards Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen was not courteous. He grabbed it directly. Although it was the flame essence, it was unexpectedly not scorching. It only felt warm, which was surprising. But there were many strange things in this world. Some flames were even at sub-zero temperatures. Immediately, Yi Shiwen met a few rather malicious gazes. A sturdy Sea Clan senior stared at Yi Shiwen. It was the giant turtle clan. His face was quite old, appearing like a human being in his 60s or 70s. However, he was still considered a young expert among the giant turtle clan. "Brat, hand over the flame essence. Otherwise, you will suffer a terrible death." The old-appearing giant turtle clan senior shouted coldly. Although he didn't know how a minute Yi Shiwen at Transcendent Realm 2nd level rushed in, it did not matter to him. Anyway, he did not bat an eye on Transcendent Realm 2nd level warriors at all. "Scram!" Yi Shiwen blurted. Chilly gaze flickered. "Brat, I didn't want to kill you. I didn't expect you to be so arrogant. You're digging your own grave." The old-looking giant turtle clan made a move. He launched a punch at Yi Shiwen. The giant turtle clan's senior punch weighed 10,000 tons, crushed towards Yi Shiwen. In terms of strength, only a minority of sea clans could outperform the giant turtle clan. With great power, the giant turtle clan established themselves among the sea clans. If it were an ordinary person, he would choose to dodge it, but Yi Shiwen did not. Boom! The two fists capable of smashing the stars were equally heavy. They both slammed into each other. The clash immediately set off a shockwave with a terrifying force instantly swept out. Asterisk crack. Asterisk coupled with a crisp fracture sound. A sturdy figure was launched away. It was the old-looking giant, Turtle Clan Senior. His arm was mutilated under the clash. The bones at his arm were shattered in an instant. Visible blood dripped from the arm. What? The experts, with coveting gaze, were all stunned. They initially thought that Yi Shiwen would be killed on the spot. Then it would be their opening to snatch flame essence. But what they didn't expect was that Yi Shiwen was so strong. They made the wrong judgment from the beginning. The kid did not rely on sheer luck to appear here. He must have his outstanding capabilities. The giant Turtle Clan Senior was in disbelief. How could he lose to a mere human brat? Worse still, in his most confident aspect, strength. Is he a beast in human skin? Except for the giant beasts in the sea, and many monsters existed since ancient times, few clans could contend with them. Is there any special bloodline in his body? Without giving him much chance to dawdle in his thoughts, Yi Shiwen made a follow-up to his attack, stepping on the air and kicking him directly. Boom! With a deafening noise, the giant Turtle Clan Senior was kicked directly. With a pop, he fell straight into the fire spiritual pool. After a moment of struggling and screaming, he was burnt into ash. Those who originally wanted to snatch the flame essence from Yi Zaiwen's hands hesitated. Yi Shiwen appeared like a war god. Yi Zaiwen's domineering performance shocked Yi Ying and others on the battlefield. Both Yao Qian and Qi Dong were a little surprised. Isn't Yi Shiwen burned to death in the wall of fire? They didn't expect Yi Shiwen to progress so much in cultivation and survive. What's happening? In the eyes of Yi Ying and Scarlet Thunder Immortal, blatant killing intent flashed. Especially Scarlet Thunder Immortal. Her hatred and killing intent were thickly condensed horrifyingly. In the fight for Phoenix's flame fruit, she lost to Yi Shiwen and fled in embarrassment. Later, due to a blessing in disguise, her cultivation skyrocketed. However, she didn't have the slightest gratitude. On the contrary, she hated him and wanted to kill Yi Shiwen personally. Just when she was about to step forward, Yi Ying had already taken the lead. He rushed toward Yi Shiwen with heavy momentum. In this scorching environment, monstrous water waves were set off. It was evident how robust Yi Ying's cultivation was. Brat, you are still alive. Yi Ying squinted his eyes. This was something he hadn't expected at all, and it was beyond his control. He absolutely could not tolerate it further. Yi Shiwen survived his pursuits, which was undoubtedly a big shame on him. Yi Ying stepped on the water waves and approached Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen could feel the water vapor contained in the oncoming air. Yi Ying's skill is definitely beyond Bai Qin. Compared with Bai Qin, he is simply at another level. Yi Shiwen did not feel nervous in the face of Bai Qin at all. However, he instinctively felt great danger as Yi Ying approached. If he was given time, he might reach the level where Crown Prince Crocodile was. In an instant, a large hand imbued with water power approached. It morphed into a crocodile claw in the air. The massive hand, with a heavy momentum, swooshed from the top, covering the sky. The surrounding warriors all avoided it, not wanting to be affected by this attack. Some were even curious as to who Yi Shiwen was, pushing Yi Ying into fury. In the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, Yi Ying was a genius second only to Crown Prince Crocodile. Many people even considered him not inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile if they started cultivating at the same time. As time went by slowly, the time needed for cultivation would only get longer and longer in each realm. The difference in strength caused by the age gap between him and Crown Prince Crocodile would only be diminished. In the end, Yi Ying might even surpass Crown Prince Crocodile. Few people like this person could anger him. After all, if one did that, the warrior would be killed on the spot. They would not survive long. Facing Yi Ying's blow, Yi Shiwen had no fear at all. Although he became instinctually vigilant, he was not terrified of Yi Ying yet. Chong! Yi Shiwen wielded his fiery long saber instantly. Near the fire spiritual pool, the fire-attributed spiritual energy was abundant. Here, the wood-burning saber technique was enhanced to an unprecedented level, approaching elite human level. Boom! The wood-burning saber technique in Yi Zaiwen's hand left a saber injury on the massive claw imbued with water power. One was the ultimate water power, and the other was the ultimate fire power. At this moment, an astonishing collision occurred. The incompatibility of water and fire reflected in front of everyone's eyes. The power of water and fire entangled in the air, condensed into a massive energy ball. It exploded as the momentum exceeded its limits. Horrifying shock waves swept out alongside the heat wave. Yi Shiwen only felt an astonishing heat wave coming, pushing him a few steps back. His clothes rustled. The mist produced a collision of water, and fire quickly spread throughout the entire palace. Since the fog contained chaotic water and fire power, everyone's spiritual senses turned blind. They could only analyze their surroundings with naked eyes. But at this moment, Yi Shiwen took action. He leaped out immediately. With the fiery long saber in his hand, he took advantage of the chaos in his attempt to kill Yi Ying. Yi Zaiwen's strong performance also shocked the warriors who were watching the battle. They didn't expect that Yi Shiwen would escalate the battle to this level, competing against Yi Ying with no signs of losing. Yi Shiwen was like a phantom, seizing the opportunity and taking the first move. They all knew Yi Ying's capability. Among the existing warriors, he was peerless. It was not that Yi Ying was terrible, but Yi Shiwen was overwhelming. Chapter 890. Chapter 890. Fighting Yi Zaiwen's counterattack arrived in an instant. The fiery long saber in his hand was the most effective beside this fire spiritual pool. Wherever he went, it seemed that even the sky was about to be burned. His surrounding mist evaporated immediately. The terrifying saber swooshed in an instant, cutting through the vast sky and falling in front of Yi Ying. Yi Ying was a little surprised. He did not expect Yi Zaiwen's reaction speed to be so fast. However, Yi Ying's combat prowess should not be underestimated. In just an instant, he reacted by summoning a water wall from the void. Boom! The fiery long saber slashed on the water wall. A raging mist erupted in an instant. The sizzling in the air was endless, but the fiery long saber quickly slashed through the water wall. The water wall summoned abruptly was incomparable with Yi Zaiwen's burning wood saber, particularly the current environment. This little time window was enough for Yi Ying to escape from Yi Zaiwen's attack. Yi Shiwen secretly felt that it was a pity that he couldn't eliminate Yi Ying in one go. Yi Ying's strength should not be underestimated. Compared with Bai Qin and the like, he was peerless. Yi Zaiwen's current standing at Transcendent Realm 2nd level had a big gap with Yi Ying in Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. Among the flourished Cloud Sea region's young experts, this Yi Ying would rank in the first 40. Yi Ying looked at Yi Shiwen with lingering fears. He didn't expect Yi Shiwen to almost kill him just now. If he hadn't reacted quickly enough, he would die in the human brat's hands. It had been a long time since they met. Yi Zaiwen's strength had changed so drastically that it went beyond his imagination. Previously, Yi Shiwen could only flee in embarrassment, but now Yi Shiwen was capable of contending with him. Most importantly, Yi Shiwen was just a Transcendent Realm 2nd level. He never thought that a Transcendent Realm 2nd level human could threaten him. The opponent's combat power was terrifying. If such a person were allowed to grow further, he would become a threat to the clan in the future. Thinking of this, cold glitter flashed in his eyes. Murderous intent raged in his heart. At this time, Yi Shiwen also noticed the killing intent in Yi Ying's eyes. He naturally knew where the other party's killing intent came from, though he merely sneered in response. He hadn't bothered with the clan yet. Who is this Yi Shiwen? Mu Xiao, do you know him? In the distance, Qi Dong looked at Yi Shiwen in deep thoughts. This fighting power should rank among the first 100 younger generation warriors. But it's simply impossible for us to have never heard of him yet. Yao Qian just glanced at Yi Shiwen faintly and said, I don't know. He appears out of thin air magically. But it is also true that the genius count in this world is unfathomable. It is almost endless. There are not merely 100 of them according to the ranking. Every time the top 100 ranks shuffled, new faces appeared. However, it is relatively rare for the new face to attain 50 at once. Qi Dong said lightly, haha, but speaking of it, your ranking in the top 100 should improve after the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion closes. Judging by your aura, I'm afraid you're not far from Transcendent Realm 6th level. Your strength will allow you to make it into the top 20 in one fell swoop. Isn't young Master Qi the same too? The rankings contest will only get more intense. Those who had the limelight last time have improved greatly. Yao Qian said plainly. Everything was within her expectations. Qi Dong was a little dignified. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, the competition was naturally fierce, especially for the younger generation of experts. New experts would appear at every ranking contest. It naturally affected those with great aspirations a lot. Scarlet Thunder Immortal's gaze flickered a bit. She probably didn't expect that Yi Shiwen could have such strength. Not only did he not die under Yi Ying's hands, but he even suppressed Yi Ying. It was apparent in just 2 exchanges of blows. For the experts, it was not difficult to form a conclusion here. Initially, she wanted to behead Yi Shiwen straight away, but Yi Ying preempted her. Despite her hatred toward Yi Shiwen, she didn't want to be at odds with Yi Ying due to this matter. After all, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan still had great prestige. Not everyone disregarded it like Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen is dead anyway, but what happened next was obviously beyond her expectation. She couldn't calm down. Little brat, I failed to kill you previously, and you're now a trouble. Yi Ying looked at Yi Shiwen and said bitterly. These were congruent with his deep thoughts. He regretted deeply, allowing Yi Shiwen to grow to an alarming level. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistake as yours, replied Yi Shiwen coldly. Yi Ying's cheeks flushed with anger immediately. Yi Zaiwen's words struck his soft spot. Yi Shiwen didn't put him in the eyes and wanted to kill him. Wishful thinking. Arrogant. retorted Ying. He took the initiative to attack Yi Shiwen. A pair of iron claws appeared in his hand. He suddenly grabbed at the thin air with a claw aura gushing forward fiercely. The sharp claw aura instantly clashed on Yi Zaiwen's body, intending to tear Yi Shiwen into pieces. Asterisk Xiao. Asterisk Yi Zaiwen's figure rose to the sky and barely avoided the sharp attack. At the moment he flew up into the air, Ying delivered another blow on him. The fiery long saber was wielded immediately. It was another downward slash. Yi Zaiwen's saber momentum was fast and steady, as if he had fully grasped the saber technique. He delivered the slash with no pauses. When Ying noticed that he missed, he immediately jumped away. Yi Zaiwen's spiritual senses had already locked on him. The opponent wielded the long saber tightly. As if the space was torn apart, another slash approached Ying in the blink of an eye. Although he had already reacted extremely fast, he didn't expect that Yi Zaiwen's speed was faster than he thought. The long saber instantly fell on his shoulder, and the slash penetrated his physical body. Puff! The mangling sound of flesh was followed by thick, bloody mists rising. It was all because the fiery saber aura evaporated Ying's blood before it had time to gush out. Bloody mist entangled his wound. Ying's face distorted due to the violent pain. He had never been so frustrated and helpless. As a figure only second to Crown Prince Crocodile in the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, he had great authority. He was unrivaled among his peers. It was also precisely because of this that Ying went about with his nose in the air. Even since his debut, he was rarely injured, let alone sustaining a severe injury in the current situation. He almost lost his hand and became disabled. His face turned sour. He let out a roar with his figure backed wildly, barely avoiding the fiery long saber slash. But even so, half of his arm was almost cut off. After escaping the fiery long saber slash, he immediately activated the recovery technique. He finally stopped the blood gushing out of his body. He immediately returned his gaze at Yi Shiwen and said viciously, "Little bastard, I want you to die without a complete corpse." He growled in a low voice, like a wounded beast. "Die." Ying roared, ignoring the blood trickled out of his body. It melted into the air. Simultaneously, Ying was getting stronger and stronger with his aura intensifying at an alarming rate. The trickled blood formed a looming phantom of a crocodile behind him, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom. Although it was only a phantom, the power within spewed despair unto the witnesses. Slowly, the ancient baron's giant crocodile and Ying merged. At this moment, he seemed to be transformed into an ancient baron's giant crocodile. Schwa! With a loud blast, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom under Ying's control scratched towards Yi Shiwen. The phantom was massive as a small mountain. Its random scratch could easily tear the space. Just like the rebirth of the ancient wilderness beast, the power rendered unparalleled horror only by looking at it. Yi Shiwen immediately kicked his feet and retreated backward, avoiding this terrifying scratch. His gaze became dignified. This should be Ying's strongest trump card, but even so, it was not easy to deal with. Being caught by this phantom would bear terrible results. Before Yi Shiwen could think about it further, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom grabbed the vast sky again, swiftly like lightning. The scratch streaked across the vast sky and approached Yi Shiwen. Chapter 891. Chapter 891. Ancient Baron's giant crocodile Yi Zaiwen's figure flickered again, wrapped in a golden light cluster. When he appeared again, he had already avoided the ancient Baron's giant crocodile's attack. The experts in the hall all looked at Yi Shiwen in dismay. Everyone present was an expert. Naturally, they realized that Yi Shiwen was so fast, almost like teleporting. As for actual teleport, they had never thought about it. This place was unlike the true martial domain. If they were in the true martial domain, they could evoke a space crack with their cultivation and phase through the space. However, on the ancient Baron's continent, The best they could do was to create space ripples. It would be impossible to break the space unless there was a warrior proficient with spatial ability. Even so, it was still difficult for people with spatial talents to reach such a speed in the ancient Barrens continent. Moreover, the most important thing was that they did not feel the space being torn apart. Although they could not phase through space, they naturally had a reasonably deep understanding of the space after reaching the transcendent realm. Once there was space fluctuation, they could detect it immediately. This man is so strong. Even Ying has to use the ultimate trump card to deal with him. His strength is simply outrageous. Yes, the legend says that Ying is second only to Crown Prince Crocodile in Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. Now he is pushed to such a point. It is completely unexpected. Looking at this move, I remembered a rumor that Ying has the blood of ancient barons, giant crocodile. I didn't expect it to be true. Ying awakened it already. Someone mentioned. Immediately, everyone had chills run down their spine, no matter if it was sea clan expert or human clan expert. During the ancient era, the ancient barons continent was in a different layout. Intelligent creatures were not dominant in the world. There was only wildness, no matter whether it was the mainland or the deep sea. Giant beasts were well established. Those giant beasts had the limitless ability to terraform. They were all omnipotent. It was an era of rampant monsters. At that time, whether it was a human clan or a sea clan, they were nothing. The one who dominated the world was Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, and so on. Until now, they were still famous clan groups. Even today, in fact, in the depths of the sea, there were still some terrifying ancient barons, beasts hibernating. These giant beasts that survived since ancient times were in deep slumber. If they were to wake up, blood would be spilled. It was imaginable how strong these ancient barons' beasts were. This was also the fundamental reason why everyone was wary of Ying. You are courting death. You must die today. Ying had a sour face. The wound on his left shoulder was recovered gradually, but his face turned pale at the same time. The cost of maintaining this phantom should be high. I have intended to reserve this trick for Crown Prince Crocodile. I didn't expect myself to use it here first. You did a great job irritating me. You won't get out of here alive. He didn't feel that he was discriminating against Yi Shiwen all the time. He just thought that Yi Shiwen was vile, deserving to be dead. He gathered the water vapors on his hand, morphing a dozen crocodiles imbued with water power. Under his command, these crocodiles roared and rushed toward Yi Shiwen. They bared their teeth and claws, wanting to chew Yi Shiwen into pieces. Humph! Yi Shiwen snorted coldly. The veins in his hand protruded. On his arm, countless chi seemed to become active in an instant, all instilled on the wood-burning saber in his hand. The flame in the sky grew more intense in an instant, dyeing the sky red. It appeared as if the whole world was about to set ablaze. Even Yao Qian and Qi Dong, who were far away, felt the monstrous heat wave emitted by the wood-burning saber. Their complexion changed slightly. This wood-burning saber technique is nothing more than the intermediate human level. He pushes it to the elite human level. How did he achieve it? Yao Qian's expression reflected her surprise blatantly. She was well aware of the item she sold. Of course, for any techniques sold in auction, her chamber would reserve a copy. Everyone knew about the rules. It was just that she didn't take the technique to heart. After all, the Chamber of Commerce would not be short of such martial techniques. For countless years, they had collected numerous martial techniques in this way. But for the wood-burning saber technique that was just sold, she still had some impression on it. It was a somewhat incomplete intermediate human-level martial technique. The experts in the Chamber of Commerce graded it that way. It was still just a martial technique of intermediate human level with limited potential after successfully learning it. After restoring the technique to completion, it was just a martial technique of advanced human level. But It did not seem to be the case in Yi Zaiwen's hands. This saber technique had exerted unprecedented power, even surpassing her initial deduction. Although the environment played a factor, Yi Zaiwen's control of this saber technique was terrifying. Among these top young experts, their cultivation gap was minute. For the bottom 50 among the top 100, they were at Transcendent Realm 4th level peak. The reason they could surpass other Transcendent Realm 4th level experts was fundamentally due to their grasp on the secret technique they had learned. Most of these experts were from established backgrounds. The forces behind them possessed advanced human level and even elite human level martial techniques. In this case, it was not that the higher the level of martial techniques, the better the power output. Only a high degree of mastery would escalate them to a higher level. The so-called gap was here. The most important thing was how long it took Yi Shiwen to exert wood burning saber technique at such caliber after the purchase. As more time passed, Yi Zaiwen's grasp on the technique would simply become unimaginable. Is this person a monstrous genius? He is heaven-defying. When I first saw him, he still seemed to be vulnerable. He was not Ying's opponent at all, but he fought against Ying without any signs of losing. He progressed too rapidly. Qi Dong on the side also looked a little dignified and said, "It seems we will have another strong opponent in this contest." Yi Zaiwen's wood-burning saber streaked across the sky as if setting fire to the entire sky. He slashed toward the approaching water crocodiles group. Boom! 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 Those dozen water crocodiles couldn't get close to Yi Zaiwen's body at all. They were detonated immediately. Although each of these water crocodiles could easily murder a Transcendent Realm 4th level, they were fragile in the face of Yi Shiwen. Seeing that Yi Shiwen with strong momentum, many people who were still optimistic about Ying became reluctant. Ying seemed to have the upper hand and forced Yi Shiwen into retreat with his trump cards. However, Yi Shiwen handled it well with ease, seemingly still not showing his best yet. Seeing Yi Shiwen quickly defused his offense, Ying became even more annoyed. He did not dare to underestimate Yi Shiwen due to the previous clash, but he still had the determination to win. He initially intended to keep this trick for Crown Prince Crocodile. Yi Shiwen was experiencing it in advance. With Yi Ying's expression becoming icier, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom enveloping also felt his wrath. The phantom roared to the sky, condensing dense water vapor into many crocodiles. These crocodiles were lifelike, with a terrifying aura imbued within. Yi Ying incarnated with more complicated hand movements. The water vapors around him form monstrous tides. It appeared like an unstoppable flood to countless people, but Yi Ying manipulated it as though they were docile children. All the martial artists around had a long face. This Yi Ying was even more terrifying than what they imagined. Although the crowd was also at Transcendent Realm 5th level peak, they now felt the gap between themselves and the younger generation of masters on the ranking. These water crocodiles were more terrifying than those manifested just now. If the previous water crocodiles could easily kill a Transcendent Realm 4th level expert, then the current water crocodiles could easily kill Transcendent Realm 5th level warriors. Yi Ying's face became paler. The vital energy and blood in his body had emptied a lot in an instant. The more powerful this move became, the heftier the consumption. Even if Yi Ying were to activate this at his peak, it would still demand terrifying qi consumption. What's more, he activated it with no water sources around him. He manifested all these water crocodiles with the blood essence in his body. The ridiculous consumption still made his face pale despite his impressive background. Countless water crocodiles whizzed under his will, densely packed. The group of water crocodiles bombarded Yi Shiwen, almost covering the entire sky. Any of these water crocodiles were capable of shredding the existence of ordinary Transcendent Realm 5th level experts in an instant. Dozens of them swooshed down from the sky all at once with a terrifying momentum, as if to destroy the world. Ha 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 ha. Little brat, you will die today. Yi Ying roared delightfully. Yi Zaiwen's face was solemn. Golden divinity clad his body. He launched himself to the air and confronted the attack directly. Chapter 892. Chapter 892. Killing Yi Ying, you want my death? I want die before you. Yi Shiwen sneered, wielding the wood-burning saber, delivered a slash imbued with fiery red saber aura. It streaked across the sky, unobstructed. Immediately, a water crocodile opened its mouth and bit toward Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen immediately exerted force on the long saber in his hand and slashed forward. Puff! Yi Shiwen slashed the water crocodile in half. He dived swiftly into the crocodile group with no pauses. Unexpectedly, this is Yi Ying's trump card. If he didn't use it personally, we might have suffered a big loss in the future contest with him. That kid is stronger than Yi Ying. What's his name? Yi Shiwen. He is terrifying. How can ordinary people compare to his techniques? These two people are way over our league. Typical Transcendent Realm 5th level warrior would not be able to withstand an attack like this at all. Transcendent Realm 6th level experts would not be as good as them too. Yes, and the most important thing is that they are all younger generations. The younger generations now are so terrifying. Hey, in just 2 years, there will be no place for us. Thinking back to when we were still young, we aren't like them. Yes, their generation is strong and outrageous. They have even surpassed many older generation experts. It's horrifying. Each of those water crocodiles was like a giant monster. They swooped directly at Yi Shiwen. Wherever they passed through, a long water trail would appear. Having the same water attribute, the water crocodiles materialized like a deluge, having an oppressive current. Boom! Yi Shiwen directly squeezed an approaching water crocodile with his left hand. In front of him, these water crocodiles were no threat at all. Boom! 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 Series of water crocodiles explosions swept out of the group. Every time the explosion sounded, it signified Yi Shiwen taking down another water crocodile. Just as Yi Shiwen exploded another water crocodile yet again, a monstrous and massive claw swooshed from the sky suddenly. Yi Ying launched a close proximity attack. After combining with the ancient baron's giant crocodile's massive phantom, Ying instantly rushed to Yi Shiwen like a bloody streamer. He went all out, intending to rake Yi Shiwen to death on the spot without giving Shiwen any chance to react. This secret technique would take a massive toll on him. He couldn't let the battle drag any further. His best move would be eliminating Yi Shiwen as early as possible. This time he would not be as careless as in the past. He didn't take Yi Shiwen seriously at all last time, nor did he think Yi Shiwen would be a threatening opponent, so he didn't care. However, when he inspected Yi Shiwen tightly, this opponent was already a fatal nemesis. He had to get serious. He vowed that he would never give Yi Shiwen this opportunity again. Asterisk clang. Asterisk Yi Shiwen slashed with his fiery long saber. Trails of flame followed the slash. With that, he confronted the attack directly. Puff! A water crocodile roaming between the two attempted to maim Yi Shiwen, rendering Yi Shiwen immobile. To everyone's surprise, Yi Shiwen was faster. In a moment, Yi Shiwen lifted the saber and delivered yet another slash. This tyrannical water crocodile was cut in half on the spot, like a hot knife through butter. He eliminated it easily. After smashing this water crocodile, he saw that the blood-colored massive claw in the sky had appeared in front of him. Without having much chance to consider his option, Yi Shiwen raised his saber and dealt another blow to the opponent. Boom! The long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand slammed into the massive claw. Terrifying force swept out from the center where they collided, instantly distorting the surrounding space, creating visible ripples. The storm dissipated. Everyone looked intently, but it was not as everyone imagined. Yi Shiwen was not blown away. On the contrary, Yi Shiwen was calm and unmoved. The ancient baron's beast's phantom could not sway Yi Zaiwen's figure. Is he still human? Could he be a monster in human skin? Everyone was stunned. Everyone could feel the momentum of the ancient baron's giant crocodile's claw. It was like a mountain pressing over, rendering the opponent out of breath. However, it did not waver Yi Shiwen at all. This Yi Shiwen was too scary. Even Ying, seeing the scene in front of him, felt a little frightened and silly. After using all his strength, he was still helpless with Yi Shiwen. This was something he hadn't thought of at the beginning. Yi Shiwen instantly swung his saber to kill a few water crocodiles who clashed with him indiscriminately. A dangerous aura on his body began to condense. An aura that resembled an ancient baron's behemoth appeared on his body. The countless vital energy and blood on him boiled, forming a vague star beast phantom behind him. It stared straight at the ancient baron's giant crocodile. Yi Shiwen had unleashed the star beast's bloodline power. It was similar to the previous star beast avatar. After the star beast phantom was manifested, it grew even more terrifying and more powerful. The star beast's phantom slowly combined with Yi Shiwen. Like Ying, he condensed his star beast phantom through the combination of qi and star beast bloodline power. It was a wild inspiration after witnessing Yi Ying's technique. It did not seem too complicated. Of course, the prerequisite would be the possession of a particular bloodline. In other words, only those who met the criteria could achieve this feat. Not everyone had such talent. This was why many were jealous of those with talents. They could easily do things that ordinary people couldn't achieve. Such a feat could not be accomplished with hard work alone. Yi Shiwen felt his combat power instantly soared after condensing the phantom of Star Beast. It was indeed a correct approach. With him slowly condensing and absorbing the refined Star Beast bloodline power, he could materialize the actual Star Beast. But like Yi Shiwen could also feel that the vital energy and blood and qi on his body were being consumed at a terrifying speed, which alarmed him. But fortunately, whether it was the purity of the bloodline or his qi, he was far more robust than Ying. He did not go pale like Ying. Sha! Under Yi Zaiwen's command, the Star Beast Phantom immediately launched its claw, streaking through the sky, blasting the air and caught the ancient baron's giant crocodile's phantom. Although the ancient baron's giant crocodile was agile, Yi Zaiwen's Star Beast Phantom was way over his caliber. Boom! The Star Beast instantly struck the ancient baron's giant crocodile's phantom. Boom! The ancient baron's giant crocodile was like a stray kite with a broken string. The massive body was blown to the sky. Then it crashed to the floor, forming a pit. All of a sudden, the smoke and dust overflowed everywhere, causing waves of terrifying heat. There was an unexpected battle outcome. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Ying's ancient baron's giant crocodile to be at such a disadvantage. Although the two of them were facing each other in the middle of the battlefield, everyone seemed to have witnessed two vicious beasts, as if they were returning to the ancient era. The distant era in which wilderness beasts were the overlord. Yi Zaiwen's Star Beast slapped Ying heavily. The phantom's protection only stopped Ying from puking blood directly. Without the said protection, he would be long dead already. He was shocked and inexplicable this time. Fear overwhelmed him. His ultimate trump card was to gain power far beyond the typical transcendent realm 5th level warrior through ancient baron's giant crocodile bloodline. But if he was still at a disadvantage with this trump card, he had nothing else. Yi Shiwen. Yi Ying roared. He was in a sorry state, but he refused to accept defeat. A burst of blood mist seeped from his body, filling the ancient baron's giant crocodile's phantom. It was not a battle of personal feeling, but a life and death matter. If he failed to behead Yi Shiwen, he would be the one who ended up dead. The desperate expression on his face was unexpected from the beginning. He could not imagine being overwhelmed before it all began. His anger soared to the sky. His eyes were as sharp as sabers. If his gaze could kill someone, he would have punctured Yi Zaiwen's body with thousands of holes like a hornet nest. Boom! Yi Shiwen did not hesitate. Star Beast's massive claws came up again. Boom! The ancient baron's giant crocodile's body was slammed into the pit, expanding the radius and its depth. Yi Shiwen, you shall die with me! Yi Ying roared, spurting out a mouthful of blood with his eyes full of resentment. Die with you? You're overestimating yourself. Yi Shiwen sneered. The intimidating Star Beast Phantom stepped on the opponent immediately. It directly trampled the ancient baron's giant crocodile's phantom, unobstructed. Boom! Yi Ying turned directly into a cluster of blood mist. Agonizing screams echoed over the entire hall. Chapter 893. Chapter 893. Who else has a dispute on this? The whole hall was silent. Only the crackle of flame remained. Everyone witnessed Yi Shiwen trampling Yi Ying to death in a daze. Everyone was dumbfounded. Although there were not many people present, they were all elites. They could all see how terrifying Yi Shiwen was. No one was confident to escape from the awakened Yi Ying except Yao Qian and Qi Dong. After the transformation, Yi Ying was absolutely terrifying, far beyond ordinary people's imagination. But Yi Shiwen still defeated the impossible Yi Ying in ease. Yi Shiwen seemed to be able to transform as well. The onlookers had never seen that ancient beast. They didn't know what kind of ancient beast it was, but they were certain that it would not be inferior to ancient baron's giant crocodile. Otherwise, Yi Ying would not be able to easily defeat it. In their hearts, Yi Shiwen has suddenly become the most terrifying person on the spot. Yi Shiwen not only managed to kill Yi Ying, but more importantly, he was only at the Transcendent Realm's second level. Yet he possessed terrifying combat power. If he continued to grow, he would definitely become a terrifying expert. What they didn't expect was that Yi Shiwen didn't bother with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's fame at all. Yi Ying was definitely an important young expert in vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, second only to Crown Prince Crocodile. Despite that, Yi Shiwen still decided to commit murder. Yi Xiangshan's death was not the end. Although the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan cared about Yi Xiangshan's death, they were merely disturbed. It wasn't a big deal. At most, they would send some people to investigate it. On the other hand, Yi Sting's death would drive vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan crazy. By then, Yi Shiwen could be facing vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's relentless pursuit. However, judging from Yi Zaiwen's demeanor, it appeared he wasn't bothered. Does he have any backer? No, he definitely has a backer behind him. Otherwise, how dare he contend with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan? He is related to Yi Xiangshan's death. Then he kills Yi Ying right in front of everyone. Even Yao Qian and Qi Dong, who are from well-known sects, dares not to do such a thing. No matter whether they have the ability or not, they will never invite a terrifying force like the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan to combat their sect. But what they didn't know was that Yi Zaiwen's reliance was not on the power of some huge clan, but on his solitude. He could just leave whenever he wanted. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan could only watch helplessly. That was why Yi Shiwen didn't care so much. After a moment of silence, the small hall suddenly became rowdy. The witnesses were overwhelmed by emotions. This is incredible. Yi Ying is already powerful and outrageous. It is indeed worthy of the name of genius. It may be true that he has a chance to be compared with Crown Prince Crocodile, but he died tragically in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Is this Yi Shiwen so strong? Such strength can definitely be one of the top 20 among the young generations. Yi Shiwen will soar to the sky. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan will never give in easily. They will never let Yi Shiwen go so easily. Indeed, I'm afraid the sea region won't be peaceful anymore. I hope the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan will not vent on us. God knows, The people of Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan are arrogant and domineering. In this sea region, apart from the Sea Dragon Mansion can compete with him, there are almost no other forces that can compete with them. Yi Shiwen ignored their whispers totally. At this time, he glanced at the entire hall, only to find that Scarlet Thunder Immortal, which was still there just now, had escaped. He felt a bit regretful. He condensed the Star Beast Phantom in hopes of eliminating Scarlet Thunder Immortal too. Compared with the troublesome Yi-Ing, Scarlet Thunder Immortal was undoubtedly much easier to eradicate. Thus, he decided to take a break and utilize his peak state to kill Scarlet in one fell swoop. With that, he would eradicate future troubles too. Yi Shiwen did not expect her to flee after realizing the unfavorable situation, not giving him a chance at all. Although it was a deep regret, he also acknowledged Scarlet Thunder Immortal's ability to act decisively. Despite knowing being outmatched by the opponent, few people could act decisively like this. After all, Yi Shiwen didn't seem to have much upper hand just now. If she besieged Yi Shiwen alongside Yi-Ing, there might be a possibility of success. However, she didn't come up and ran away. This alone was enough to show that she was not hesitant in her decision, never to be sluggish. This was also precisely the reason Yi Shiwen grew more determined to kill her. Such a person was more troublesome than those fierce-looking opponents that were sluggish in decision-making. Next time, if I have a chance, I must get rid of her first. I won't get many opportunities like this. Although Yi Shiwen was strong, he was wary of Scarlet Thunder Gang's overall strength. There might not be experts surpassing Transcendent Realm in Scarlet Thunder Gang. However, there should be Transcendent Realm 7th level experts and even 8th level experts garrisoned in their forces. Fighting against Scarlet Thunder Gang was no different to smashing an egg on a rock. It was simply impossible to win. So, if she kept hiding in the Scarlet Thunder Gang, even Yi Shiwen couldn't help with it. After all, Yi Shiwen could not keep waiting outside the Scarlet Thunder Gang. He still had many things to do. What a pity to let her escape today. Since Scarlet Thunder Immortal escaped, Yi Shiwen had no need to continue this form, so he immediately withdrew the Star Beast. Even if he could only summon a phantom now, it was still stronger than his main body. If he could condense the real body of Star Beast in the future, his power would naturally increase. But the consumption would definitely be more terrifying. He just had to maintain the Star Beast Phantom for now. As of the previous battle, it consumed a quarter of the chi in his body and a fifth of the bloodline power. No wonder that Yi couldn't wait to attack Yi Shiwen just now. This turned out to be the reason. He could not sustain such a consumption for too long. It could only be used as the killing move or a surprise attack. The goal was to end the fight as soon as possible. However, Yi Shiwen was quite satisfied with this power. Without the Star Beast Phantom, he could wait for Yi-Ing to exit from the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile state. It was impossible to defeat Yi-Ing overwhelmingly. After checking the harvest, this Yi-Ing was indeed the top genius among the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. His wealth was far more than that of Bai Qin. He actually had 50 million spirit crystals on him. Adding up to the spirit crystals Yi Shiwen owned, he had reached 120 million spirit crystals. Yi-Ing was definitely a wealthy kid among the Transcendent Realm warriors. Besides spirit crystals, treasures, and martial instruments, the biggest gain was the flame essence. Yi-Ing had 4 pieces of flame essences with him. These were the essence condensed from countless flames in the fire spiritual pool. The essence was definitely a great nourishment in cultivation. It had all fallen into Yi Zaiwen's hands. Adding up with another piece in Yi Zaiwen's hand initially, there were 4 pieces of flame essence in total. The value of this flame essence was not inferior to Phoenix's flame fruit. Phoenix's flame fruit's value was to transform the body. The effect was relatively slower to materialize, unlike the flame essence that improves the cultivation almost immediately. With these flame essence, Yi Shiwen could break through in a short time. At this moment, the fire spiritual pool suddenly boiled violently. Everyone's eyes lit up. The fire spiritual pool was about to spit out flame essence. As expected, after a while, the flame essences were launched to the air. Puff! 5 flame essences were launched. Everyone was overjoyed. If there was only one piece, then they might have to fight to the death. If there were 5 pieces, the need for contesting them would be much smaller. But at this moment, Yi Shiwen spreaded his massive hand directly. The hand was wrapped in golden divinity. He reached directly above the flame, grabbing 5 pieces of flame essence into his hand. Everyone stared with their eyes wide open. What the hell? Although the flame essence was not hot, this fire spiritual pool was a veritable pool of life. Any physical contact would burn a warrior into coal. No one could withstand it. But Yi Shiwen was able to stand it, so he took away the flame essences directly. In that case, who else would be able to grab the flame essences in the future? Generally, when they wanted to snatch the flame essences, they would wait until the flame essences were scattered after being launched into a distance. They would typically aim for one of them, who would snatch the flame's essences directly from the top of the fire spiritual pool. They didn't know that Yi Shiwen had transformed into a phoenix physique with both Phoenix's flame, fruit, and phoenix regeneration technique. His control over flame had escalated to a whole new level. With the divinity protection, he grabbed the flame essences above the fire spiritual pool. Yi Shiwen, you are undue. Are you trying to monopolize all alone? At this time, someone said in dissatisfaction, if Yi Shiwen only grabbed one of them, or even 2, they would have no opinion. But Yi Shiwen grabbed all 5 pieces. They couldn't get a piece of it. If they continued to let Yi Shiwen continue like this, they would not be able to have a share in the very end. Even if they were afraid of Yi Zaiwen's combat power, they had to stand up for it. Who else has a dispute on this? Yi Shiwen glanced coldly at the people in the hall. Chapter 894. Chapter 894. The disturbed monster. Everyone suddenly felt a little tense. At this moment, what appeared in their minds was the scene of Yi Shiwen blowing up Ying just now. He was not a kind Samaritan, but a peerless, murderous person. Whoever underestimated him would inevitably suffer a terrible loss in his hands. Just look at Ying. It was apparent Yi Shiwen was not a soft-hearted person. Those who underestimated him would suffer terribly. At this time, everyone was thinking about whether to seize Yi Shiwen together. Although they were aware that they were not Yi Zaiwen's opponent, they still felt that they had odds of winning if they went up together, especially with Yao, Qian, and Qidong. If Yi Shiwen agreed to give up the remaining flame essence that might be spitting out later, they would be willing to give up. Yi Shiwen noticed that they stopped speaking. He didn't speak either. Instead, he activated the Phoenix regeneration technique in secret to restore the vital energy and blood consumed by the Star Beast Phantom just now. After a while, Yi Zaiwen's face became ruddy again. His body had returned to the peak state. At this time, even if they collectively attacked Yi Shiwen, he was not afraid. As for asking him to take out what he got, it would be simply impossible. If he was just an ordinary transcendent realm second level, would they give him a share? It was apparent that it would be impossible too. Whoever had the bigger fist set the rules. The most important thing was that Yi Shiwen was not related to them in any way. Why would he give these flame essences to them? Everyone looked at Yao Qian and Qidong. Besides Yi Shiwen, Yao Qian and Qidong had the highest cultivation among the people here. If they both took a move, then everyone would follow suit. If the 2 of them held themselves in, everyone would naturally have no guts to do it. While everyone was still hesitating, amidst the boundless flames of the fire spiritual pool, there was a furious roar. Unparalleled sword, how dare you! A fantastic sword aura split the flame immediately after that, and then a figure rushed out of the flame. Everyone looked intently. It was none other than Unparalleled Sword. He seemed to be carrying something in his hand. He stepped on the rainbow manifested with his sword and dashed directly out of the hall. seeing the unparalleled sword's appearance. Everyone was shocked with no time to figure out the reasons. The entire fire spiritual pool seemed to be boiling, setting off monstrous heat waves. Deafening roars came from underneath. Then, another water wave surged to the sky, separating the flames. A figure jumped out of it. It was none other than Crown Prince Crocodile. Unparalleled sword and Crown Prince Crocodile rushed into the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion before anyone else. Everyone hadn't seen where the two went. It was a bit strange at first, but the reason seemed more evident at this moment. Before they diverged their attention to Crown Prince Crocodile and unparalleled sword, the flame boiled again. A tremendous roar of undead came from it. Then, another huge figure jumped out of it. It was a towering burning corpse. Its eyes glimmered like two ghastly green fires. Its mouth was breathing fire. It chased directly in the direction of Crown Prince Crocodile. Yi Shiwen was shocked. He didn't expect that there was such a towering, burning corpse hidden inside. Judging its level, the burning corpse would be no less than the transcendent realm 9th level. He was drenched with cold sweat immediately. Crown Prince Crocodile was in a sorry state. There were bloodstains all over his body. Bones were visible on the badly mutilated wounds. Worse still, there was a terrible tear. Crown Prince Crocodile appeared miserable. The crowd had never witnessed him in this state. The crowd's impression of Crown Prince Crocodile had always been arrogant and overbearing. They never encountered a wounded Crown Prince Crocodile before. Adding up to the sorry state, Crown Prince Crocodile was fleeing like crazy. Almost subconsciously, everyone started to flee madly. Perhaps many people did not have the time to assess the burning corpse's level, but they recognized that escaping would be the uppermost priority. A monster which Crown Prince Crocodile had to flee in a sorry state was not something they could contend with. Damn, unparalleled sword! I swear I will get my revenge! Crown Prince Crocodile yelled again. Apparently he either suffered a loss in unparalleled sword's hands or both unparalleled sword and this burning corpse. This should be the very reason for his sorry state. At this moment he saw the burning corpse behind him approaching, and his eyes flickered. Damn beast! As his hands grabbed towards both sides, it formed a suction force immediately and caught the fleeing experts on both sides. Yi Shiwen felt the suction, sucking him in. He didn't even have time to react, and was sucked toward it. But then he discovered that not only him, but Crown Prince Crocodile had been grabbing people over to him. Those who were initially behind the burning corpse rushed toward Crown Prince Crocodile. Then Crown Prince Crocodile turned his hands directly, throwing these people toward the burning corpse. Everyone immediately understood that Crown Prince Crocodile wanted to use them as a shield to stop the burning corpse. Immediately, the victims shouted and cursed as if they wanted to condemn Crown Prince Crocodile to death. But Crown Prince Crocodile was unfazed. He escaped farther and farther. No matter how the crowd scolded, Crown Prince Crocodile had achieved his purpose to slow down the burning corpse. Puff! The burning corpse faced an oncoming warrior, opened its claws, and directly tore the warrior in half on the spot. The Transcendent Realm 5th level expert was fragile, like tofu in the face of the burning corpse. The warrior was outmatched. The blood made the burning corpse even more violent and irritable. It absorbed the blood essence from the torn-apart warrior. Everyone was terrified. They were helpless. Some warriors who were bolder attacked the burning corpse directly, but they couldn't withstand one blow from the burning corpse. Likewise, they were torn apart too. Ah! Then there was a sharp cry. Yi Shiwen turned his head and noticed that the burning corpse slammed its devastating palm on Yao Qian. The burnt mark on her chest was vile. Her figure was blown away, flying toward Yi Shiwen. Behind her, the burning corpse also followed closely. Yi Shiwen, hurry up. You won't be able to flee if you hesitate. Yi Emo quickly reminded aloud. In front of this terrifying burning corpse, Yi Shiwen would not survive at all. The most important thing was that Yi Shiwen did not know how strong the burning corpse was when he was alive. Yi Shiwen was way out of his opponent's league. Yi Shiwen gritted his teeth, looked at Yao Qian, and flew back directly. Pa! Yao Qian flew directly into Yi Zaiwen's arms. A massive force struck Yi Shiwen directly through Yao Qian's body. Yi Shiwen had directly retreated for more than 100 meters before he could regain stability. It was conceivable how heavy the impact was. "Thank you," Yao Qian said feebly. In dangerous times, only Yi Shiwen came out to help her. Everyone else was running for their lives. Who would care about her? She might be the center of attention with her beauty. Sadly, no one bothered with her anymore. No matter how beautiful she was, the others would regard their life much more important. "No thanks. You helped me once in front of the auction house. We're even now." Yi Shiwen embraced Yao Qian and flapped his storm wings instantly. He dashed immediately out of the hall. Yi Shiwen was someone who remembered grudges and favors. He would appreciate those who helped him and retaliate against those who bared their fangs to him. Roar. The burning corpse behind him accelerated, putting Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian as its target. Yi Shiwen fanned the storm wings behind him relentlessly. Immediately, the sound of the storm permeated the area. The storm power directly slammed on the burning corpse. However, it could only slightly hinder the burning corpse's movement, slowing down its speed. It could not stop it from approaching. For an undead, Yi Zaiwen's storm power was just a tickle. Since Yi Shiwen was carrying a person as he cruised forward, he could not accelerate his speed any further. On the contrary, this burning corpse was like the fish swimming in water. It had a higher cultivation realm as compared to Yi Shiwen. With its superb speed, its distance to Yi Shiwen became shorter and shorter. Yi Shiwen felt unjust. Unparalleled sword and crown prince crocodile disturbed something to come out. What did they get under the fire spiritual pool, which caused this monster to chase after him? What was even more disgusting was that Crown Prince Crocodile used him and Yao Qian as a shield. Since it had already come to this, complaining further would not help. Escape was of paramount importance. Roar. The burning corpse realized that Yi Shiwen was about to escape from its grasp. It was enraged. It roared and launched its ghostly claw toward Yi Shiwen. Chapter 895. A duel against Crown Prince Crocodile. Boom! That ghost claw caught directly on Yi Zaiwen's back. The scratch was as heavy metal. Yi Shiwen suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and a terrible blow hit him severely. The blood gushed to the sky. His figure staggered and fell to the ground. "Are you okay?" Yao Qian asked feebly. At this time, she also had a pale face and asked weakly. Her beautiful eyes, looking at Yi Shiwen, were gleaming. How did he manage to achieve this? When everyone gave up on her, this person who had only met her once turned around and came back to save her. When she thought that her life might end here, Yi Shiwen managed to keep their life hanging. Is it just because of my help in front of the auction? For her, it was a piece of cake. She only hoped that the people Unparalleled Sword valued and the people he protected would not be killed. That was all. It was not a big deal. If it were her, she would not be able to go to this extent. "I'm fine." Yi Shiwen grinned. Blood kept flowing down into the collar, making him look amusing. PSSCH. Yao Qian couldn't help but chuckle. She trembled a little in Yi Zaiwen's arms. It seemed she had torn her wound slightly. She couldn't help but cough. Yi Shiwen was somewhat dumbfounded. "What are you doing?" "We're running for life, miss." "Be serious." But at this time he couldn't care less. Utilizing the heavy impact, Yi Shiwen flew for hundreds of meters, temporarily escaping from the grasp of the burning corpse behind him. Behind him were still the warriors' agonizing screams. Yi Shiwen felt somewhat helpless. He quickly took advantage of the timing to fly out of the palace. There were still a few powerful burning corpses guarding outside. Yi Shiwen still had to be cautious. If there were no way to break through the burning corpse group quickly, it would still be a dead end. The burning corpse behind was getting closer and closer. Damn it, it's all or nothing. Yi Shiwen roared, cursing in foul language. He extracted the emergence immortal exterminating saber from Tianyuan Mirror, a martial instrument which he had not conquered. In the worst scenario, he would use emergence immortal exterminating saber to make his way out. It would be a massive toll for him to wield the emergence immortal exterminating saber, rendering him unable to utilize his other tricks. Worse still, he was still fatally injured. Emergence immortal exterminating saber was a double-edged sword for him, which would bring harm to him. Sadly, he had no other options at this time. It's now or never. There is still a way out. Yi Shiwen was so fast that he had rushed to the palace gate. Crown Prince Crocodile just eliminated the toughest burning corpse among the group at Transcendent Realm 8th level. For Crown Prince Crocodile, it should have been an effortless task. However, it was a little strenuous. He was seriously injured previously. At this time, there was almost no way. Since he could still eradicate the Transcendent Realm 8th level's burning corpse, it portrayed his profound combat prowess. Brat, you're not dead yet. The Crown Prince Crocodile sneered and looked at Yi Shiwen with murderous intent flashed in his eyes. In his eyes, Yi Shiwen was like a pest. He could not eliminate it no matter what. Yi Shiwen managed to escape every time. What surprised him more was that Yi Shiwen ascended to Transcendent Realm 2nd level from the half-step Transcendent Realm in such a short period. Even by the standards of the genius, it was too fast. He would not regard Yi Shiwen as a threat because Yi Shiwen was not qualified yet. However, it irritated him. As long as Yi Shiwen is alive, it felt disgusting to him. Thanks to you, I live longer than you. Yi Shiwen grinned, forcibly suppressing the injuries on his body. His expression turned serious. This would be a bloody battle, a tough battle, or even a hopeless fight. He clenched the emergence immortal exterminating saber in his hand secretly. In his peak state, he had the confidence to escape from Crown Prince Crocodile. However, he was seriously injured while under pursuit from the back. It was a dead end with no other way around it. It was his second life and death decision after he came to the ancient Baron's continent. Stubborn fellow. It's fine, though. I will eliminate you. Crown Prince Crocodile sneered. He regarded Yi Zaiwen's words as stubborn rather than threatening. After all, Yi Zaiwen's sorry state was apparent too. I have no other options. It's a fight to the death. Yi Shiwen gritted his teeth. He heard the roar of the burning corpse getting closer and closer behind him. There were also 4 burning corpses surrounding the Crown Prince Crocodile. Being intimidated by Crown Prince Crocodile, they encircled in a distance. Chong! On emergence, immortal exterminating saber. Endless saber lights swept up in an instant. At this moment, Yi Shiwen was almost like an ancient overlord rebirth, surrounded by a golden light. A song that belonged to holy realm dwellers was sung. It came from emergence, immortal exterminating saber. If one were to listen carefully, it was not a blessing from holy realm dwellers at all, but a grudge. It was the holy realm dwellers' curse. It was a terrifying curse where the effect came from within. The terrifying saber aura had a clean edge. It was suppressing the Crown Prince Crocodile till he was a little out of breath. Horror was reflected in Crown Prince Crocodile's gaze. He did not expect that Yi Shiwen would have such a martial instrument. Just from a distance, he could feel the instinctual fear as if the weapon could swallow him and tear him apart. In front of this saber, Crown Prince Crocodile could feel his insignificance. He did not know what this saber had slain. It made him feel timid and made him feel the insignificance of a soul. The situation never happened previously. In the past, he had never felt that he was insignificant. Among the younger generation, he was the few people who could dominate the elites. His achievements would be limitless in the future, but now he felt so powerless. At the same time, as the horror crawled upon Crown Prince Crocodile. His greed was surging. He felt such a martial instrument was wasted in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Only he could wield its power to the peak, killing many foes in different places and create a prestigious name. Brat, if you give me this saber, I can forgive you for all your previous disrespect. How about that? Crown Prince Crocodile stared at Yi Shiwen intently and demanded. His side gaze was all on the emergence, immortal exterminating saber in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Do you think I will believe you? Yi Shiwen said with a cold smile. Do you think everyone had a crocodile brain like you? Yi Shiwen had seen through it all already. The emergence, immortal exterminating saber was his only way out. Without emergence, immortal exterminating saber, he was certain that Crown Prince Crocodile would kill him on the spot and would not give him any chance. For people like Crown Prince Crocodile, Yi Shiwen had a clear understanding. No matter whether he gave out the emergence, immortal exterminating saber or not, Crown Prince Crocodile would not let him go. Crown Prince Crocodile had a long face in embarrassment. As what Yi Shiwen had thought, he did not intend to let Yi Shiwen go. Whether Yi Shiwen was willing to hand over emergence, immortal exterminating saber, he would still behead Yi Shiwen. He could not bear such an annoying human to be alive. At this time he was irritated, being unable to acquire emergence, immortal exterminating saber. He was also embarrassed with his inner thoughts figured out by his opponent, his killing intent on Yi Shiwen's sword. Since he is not willing to give it, then I will grab it. It's just putting in more effort. For such a magnificent saber, only I'm worthy to wield it. At this tense moment, Yao Qian in Yi Zaiwen's arms giggled abruptly. Crocodile brain. Yi Shiwen was probably the only one who dared to speak to Crown Prince Crocodile like this in the flourished Cloud Sea region. Even the unparalleled sword would not talk like that. Brat, you're enjoying your romance, yeah? Crown Prince Crocodile sneered, looking at Yao Qian, who was in Yi Zaiwen's arms, and said, What a great opportunity to send you both to hell. Enjoying the life of a ghost couple. Yao Qian resented the humiliation. As the sunny bamboo chamber of commerce's heir, even those who had coveted her for a long time dared not to speak so presumptuously. Yi Shiwen didn't care about Crown Prince Crocodile's mockery. He clenched emergence, immortal exterminating saber. It's now or never. Yi Shiwen gritted his teeth and waved the emergence, immortal exterminating saber in his hand. Every slash could easily make ripples in the space, showing unimaginable power. If most of its ability hadn't been sealed, the effect would not be just like that. But at this moment, the burning corpse's roar behind him was approaching as well. Yi Shiwen even heard the shouts of Qidong running. As the strongest among the adventuring warrior group, he decided to escape too. Hearing this voice, Crown Prince Crocodile was hesitant. The burning corpse dealt a heavy blow to him. The arrogant him had to flee in embarrassment too, but he was unwilling to let Yi Shiwen go. If he could obtain the saber, he could defeat all the young masters in the flourished Cloud Sea region. At this time, the 4 burning corpses around him seemed to be summoned by something. They started to be impatient. Brat, lucky you! Crown Prince Crocodile finally chose to escape. If he stayed, it would be challenging to take down Yi Shiwen in a short time. He could only choose to leave. Chapter 896. Chapter 896. 3 years close cultivation seeing the departure of Crown Prince Crocodile, Yi Shiwen finally breathed a sigh of relief. If Crown Prince Crocodile decided to fight just now, he would have to fight for his life. There was no other way despite the slim winning chance. The best Yi Shiwen could achieve was to let Crown Prince Crocodile suffer terribly. He was satisfied with just that result. As soon as Crown Prince Crocodile left, the 4 burning corpses, without deterrence, immediately rushed towards Yi Shiwen. Clang! The emergence, immortal exterminating saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand instantly burst into a brilliant saber light. He wielded the emergence, immortal exterminating saber in strain. Shwa! An astonishing saber aura instantly slashed out. A transcendent realm 6th level burning corpse was immediately split in half. In front of this emergence, immortal exterminating saber, it had no chance to fight back. Puff! Yi Shiwen spat out another mouthful of blood with his figure trembling slightly. Are you okay? Yao Qian asked. She could feel that using this emergence, immortal exterminating saber was a huge burden for him. A single slash would make him spat out a mouthful of blood essence. Although this saber was powerful and scary, the ramifications were also the same. Yi Shiwen endured heavy backlash. Yi Shiwen didn't answer, but shook his head. He was holding his breath now. If he were to speak, the breath would be gone. He wouldn't be able to last long. The pair of golden wings behind him flapped again. He immediately dashed out of the gap in the middle. Asterisk roar. Asterisk the burning corpse. Next to him filled his ears with roars. Another hand grabbed towards him. It was a transcendent realm 7th level burning corpse. If the burning corpse landed the hit, Yi Shiwen was certain that he would not be able to escape. I have to fight. Yi Shiwen became more determined. He waved emergence, immortal exterminating saber again in his hand. An amazing saber aura quickly spun in the sky. It looked like a halo spinning in the sky, directly causing ripples in the sky. The slash quickly entered the chest of this burning corpse. The heavy might tore the burning corpse in half. Puff! Yi Shiwen spouted another mouthful of blood. He started to feel dizzy. Most of his chi was taken away. This emergence, immortal exterminating saber, was too costly to wield. Since he could not wield it entirely during the peak state, let alone he was severely injured already. He quickly suppressed the injury on his body with the Phoenix regeneration technique, preventing it from worsening. He managed to stay flying. After successfully sustaining a backlash, Yi Shiwen breathed a sigh of relief and rushed out directly. The other two burning corpses couldn't stop him at all and let him escape. After successfully escaping the palace, Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian both breathed a sigh of relief. In a bottomless oceanic trench, there was silence around it. No creatures in the sea approached. There was a looming protective shield above the trench, dividing the trench inside and outside like two worlds. In the trench, a man and a woman sat on the sea bottom. The tremendous pressure of the seawater beside them did not seem to cause any problems to them. It was Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian. Both of them were treating their injuries with breathing techniques. The first to recover was Yi Shiwen, who was fatally injured. Phoenix regeneration technique was worthy of the top recovery martial techniques. Even if Yi Zaiwen's injury was more serious, he was one step ahead of Yao Qian in recovery. After returning to the peak, Yi Shiwen breathed a sigh of relief. The situation just now was too dangerous. If he didn't leave in time, he might fall into the hands of the terrifying burning corpse and get torn apart. However, after his recovery was over, Yao Qian had already recovered, but she did not stop. Instead, she continued to attempt her breakthrough. After swallowing the flame essence, she planned to ascend to Transcendent Realm 6th level in one go. She was already at Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. There was only a tiny gap to enter the Transcendent Realm 6th level. This injury had become an opportunity instead. She wanted to utilize this opportunity to attain the Transcendent Realm 6th level. There was a considerable gap between the Transcendent Realm 5th level and the Transcendent Realm 6th level. Among the 9 Transcendent Realm levels, the first 3 levels were the initial stage. The middle 3 levels were the intermediate stage. After entering the Transcendent Realm 6th level, she was basically at the Transcendent Realm intermediate peak. Transcendent Realm 7th level would be the next stage. Yi Shiwen saw that she didn't leave directly, so he ignored her. He entered close cultivation 2. He realized his shortcomings after the previous experience, especially compared to the top young figures like Crown Prince Crocodile. There was still a gap, a gap that allowed the opponent to run over him smoothly. He needed to improve as soon as possible to catch up with the younger generation elites in ancient barons. If others heard the news about it, they would think Yi Shiwen was too arrogant. However, Yi Shiwen did not see the process as challenging. After all, he was already at the top among the younger generation in true martial domain. It was just a change of environment. There was no reason to downplay himself. Most importantly, despite having more geniuses in ancient barons' domain than true martial domain, the cultivation environment was much more comfortable than the true martial domain. That would be Yi Zaiwen's advantage. Like Yao Qian, Yi Shiwen also began to consume the flame essence. Although flame essence was extra helpful for people with fire-attributed cultivation techniques, Yi Shiwen did not cultivate fire-attributed cultivation techniques. Hence, the effect was relatively poor. Still, Yi Shiwen didn't care less. Anyway, he had 10 pieces of flame essence. As long as his cultivation realm could be improved, it was not a waste to consume them all. At the moment the flame essence was consumed, the qi in Yi Zaiwen's body immediately boiled. Yi Zaiwen's body had gradually transformed into the physique of a phoenix. He had a good affinity with fire-attributed energy. Since the flame essence's effect was similar, Yi Shiwen found it easier to utilize it fully. These 10 flame essences were definitely enough to transform Yi Zaiwen's fire spirit body characteristic to the next level. It produced a natural enhancement to the martial techniques of fire attributes. The fire spirit body was also famous among many unique physiques. The 5 elements spirit body was famous. It pushed the control over element-attributed martial techniques to an extraordinary level. Of course, the most important thing was to be able to advance Yi Zaiwen's cultivation. The energy in the flame essence had gradually transformed into energy Yi Shiwen capable of absorbing. His cultivation also advanced bit by bit. When Yi Shiwen pushed his cultivation to the Transcendent Realm 2nd level peak, it was already 2 years later. Yi Zaiwen's previous cultivation advancement was too fast. Now, Yi Shiwen wanted to recuperate this defect and consolidate the foundation. On this day, Yi Shiwen continued to consolidate his foundation. Suddenly, a powerful aura burst out of Yao Qian's body not far away. She couldn't hold the aura in, and it shot straight into the sky. Yi Shiwen immediately knew that Yao Qian had already attained a breakthrough, one step faster than him. However, Yao Qian didn't move and seemed to be consolidating her new realm. It was only a month later that she finished consolidating her realm. Yao Qian stopped her cultivation. Her aura at the Transcendent Realm 6th level was utterly different from the past. She had become more robust. Definitely not just a little bit. She looked at Yi Shiwen with a slightly complicated expression. Without this person, she would have been eliminated in the hands of the burning corpse. She would never have survived. Not to mention, she would be able to ascend into Transcendent Realm 6th level. Although she helped Yi Shiwen previously, she still felt that Yi Shiwen helped her more. Most importantly, she did not need to take any real risks to help Yi Shiwen at that time, but Yi Shiwen came to save her with her life in danger. Seeing that Yi Shiwen was still in close cultivation, she directly transmitted the voice, "Yi Shiwen, I will hold a gathering of young experts 1 year later. If you're free from close cultivation at that time, please attend." After she finished speaking, a light shone from her feet. She flew straight out of the oceanic trench. Yi Shiwen closed his eyes and didn't get up, but it didn't mean that he didn't realize anything. He left some of his spiritual sense outside of him during his close cultivation. A gathering of young experts a year from now? Yi Shiwen was a little eager for it. He didn't know what level he was among the young experts of the flourished Cloud Sea region. This would be an excellent opportunity to let Yi Shiwen grasp his standing. Moreover, Yao Qian hosted it. Hence, attending young experts would not be inferior. This was precisely what Yi Shiwen needed. However, Yi Shiwen did not dawdle in his thoughts any further, but immersed in his cultivation. He did not pay too much attention to it. After all, he did not know whether he could be released from his cultivation after a year. If he failed to do so, he would miss it. Yi Zaiwen's aura continued to grow stronger. He was challenging the transcendent realm 3rd level. He kept activating, observing person scripture. The mini-universe in his body was rotating continuously, absorbing the rich power of flame essence. In the past 3 years, he had consumed 3 flame essences. If Yi Shiwen majored in cultivation techniques with fire attributes, 3 flame essences worth of energy would be enough for him to directly enter the transcendent realm 5th level. However, Yi Shiwen merely stopped at transcendent realm 2nd level peak. But Yi Shiwen didn't care, nor felt that it was a pity. Little by little, he struck the barrier to attain transcendent realm 3rd level. In a blink of an eye, another year passed. Yi Zaiwen's aura gradually became more robust. He dissipated the realm barrier many times. The transcendent realm 3rd level's realm barrier also became smaller bit by bit. Finally, Yi Shiwen launched another hit on the realm barrier. Boom! Yi Zaiwen's aura finally soared into the sky, no longer stagnating. Chapter 897. Chapter 897. 99th concubine. Yi Zaiwen's aura had a drastic difference. He retracted all the aura seeping out of his body with ease. It did not alert anyone. Yi Shiwen opened his eyes. After 3 years, he finally ascended to transcendent realm 3rd level. After he entered the ancient Baron's continent, this was his most extended breakthrough despite under the flame essence's effect. Of course, this had a lot to do with him deliberately slowing his progress. Laying a good foundation was still his highest priority. In true martial domain, his cultivation had come to the upper limit. However, in ancient barons, he could only be regarded as a younger generation of warriors at best. He was still in the stage of laying a foundation. At this time, the more solid the foundation, the more helpful it would be for his future cultivation. However, the close cultivation for the past 3 years was not in vain. After all, he also entered the transcendent realm 3rd level. In addition to Yi Zaiwen's close cultivation, even EMO was also in close cultivation in these 3 years. In that holy realm dweller's mansion, Tianyuan Mirror had assimilated way too much vital energy and blood essence. It took a while to absorb them. When Tianyuan became available, it had evolved into an advanced human level martial instrument. Yi Shiwen speculated the time again. It had come to the date Yao Qian mentioned, the gathering of young experts. He just wasn't sure if he missed it. Thinking of this, Yi Shiwen stood up and flew out of the oceanic trench, heading straight to the nearby sunny bamboo island. At first glance, the entire sunny bamboo island was lively. The city didn't seem to have regressed because of the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion incident 3 years ago. The entire sunny bamboo island was discussing the gathering of young experts held by Yao Qian. Not anyone could attend this gathering. It was undoubtedly only the top-notch young experts could attend. Therefore, a massive crowd paid close attention to this gathering. Especially sunny bamboo island's muse, Yao invited young experts. These factors undoubtedly made the whole event more eye-catching. Yi Shiwen did not go directly to the sunny bamboo chamber of commerce. He first found an inn to settle down. Yi Shiwen just walked in, and the waiter enthusiastically stepped forward and asked, "What does the dear customer want?" "I just want to have something to eat." Yi Shiwen was not demanding in this regard. "By the way, is the gathering of young experts held by Muse Yao over already?" It turns out that dear customer is also here to participate in the gathering of young experts. The waiter came to realize that, judging from Yi Zaiwen's young age and high cultivation, he came here to attend young experts' gathering. "You're in the right timing. The gathering starts today. It is said that in addition to our young experts near sunny bamboo island, There are also many experts on the flourished Cloud Sea region in the top 100 list visiting personally. It's lively and brilliant with many young stars. Can the experts near sunny Bamboo Island also participate? Yi Shiwen asked curiously. Well, young experts above the Transcendent Realm's second level can enter. However, they are only foils here. The center of attention will be the young experts on the top 100 list, the waiter explained. Yi Shiwen agreed with it too. These young experts near sunny Bamboo Island were only sidekicks at best. The real protagonists should also be those masters on the top 100 list. The waiter quickly prepared meals for Yi Shiwen, while Yi Shiwen just sat quietly and listened to his surroundings. There were also discussions around this matter. Although it was only a gathering of some younger generation experts, it was not a trivial event for the entire sunny Bamboo Island. This time, I heard a lot of young experts coming. Many of them are on the top 100 list. Yeah, there should be a lot of gatherings like this because the competition for the new list is about to begin. Now, it is the time for everyone to find out each other's capabilities. Indeed, there will be the emergence of new warriors on the top 100 list, which names we have never heard of before. Apart from the competition for the top experts, what interests me is those emerging newcomers. Aren't there such dark horses, one in every session? That's it. Last time, from our sunny Bamboo Island, only Muse Yao and Scarlet Thunder Immortal entered the top 100 list. This time, I wonder how many can enter the rank of top 100 list. Yes, I hope there are more winners this time. It proves that my sunny Bamboo Island is more prosperous. But I heard that this time both Muse Yao and Scarlet Thunder Immortal had made progress. Their progress in the top 100 competition will go even further than the last time. It is because of this speculation that there are more gatherings like this happening. They want to figure out each other's trump card before the top 100 competition begins. Moreover, they said that Qiu Juanhao of the Sea Dragon Mansion would come in person this time. Someone lowered his voice and said, but everyone around him heard it. All of them exclaimed immediately, Qiu Juanhao. Is that Qiu Juanhao who is ranked 23rd in the top 100 list? Someone exclaimed, that's him. Who else will it be? He is already Transcendent Realm 6th level peak at his young age. If he can go one step further before the top 100 competition begins and enter Transcendent Realm 7th level, he can even compete for top 20. Sea Dragon Mansion is still strong. In the top 100 list alone, Sea Dragon Mansion alone accounted for more than a dozen places. Even so, there are many young experts of Sea Dragon Mansion noting participating in the ranking at all. Otherwise, they will occupy the top 100 list. Yi Shiwen secretly absorbed the information. Although the top 100 list was symbolic, the legitimate experts were still among the three forces. The three forces were also the human forces anchored on the flourished Cloud Sea region. As long as the three major forces were still there, the human clan would have a foothold in the flourished Cloud Sea region. There were many experts among the three forces. After all, there were few young experts of unknown origin like Unparalleled Sword. Most of them were from these three forces. Apart from these three forces, the sea clans had the most numbers. After that, what remained was the experts from various small forces. Suddenly, a bolt of light streaked across the sky arrogantly. The expert was in a green robe. Who is that? So arrogant? They are the Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan experts. They said that by Li Xuan of Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan personally led the team this time. It is probably because of Bai Chen's affairs. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts sheltered Bai Chen previously. What happened annoys the Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan deeply. If it weren't for the fact that the clan is not as strong as the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, I am afraid they have already chosen to go to war with the Crocodile clan already. That's quite serious. What exactly did Bai Chen do to irritate Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan so terribly? They would rather go into conflict with the vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, someone asked. For Bai Chen, many people still had good memories of it. Bai Chen had caused a commotion in the nearby sea region after all. God knows, Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan is tight-lipped on this matter, but there is news coming that Bai Chen died 3 years ago. It was the opening of Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion 3 years ago. No one knows whether Bai Chen died or not, but Ying is dead. Under the eyes of everyone, he died under Yi Zaiwen's hand. If not, it should be Ying leading the team. Asterisk exclaimed. Asterisk, it's no wonder that the vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan is hunting people like crazy around the sea region. It turns out to be because of Ying's death. No wonder. Ying is the elite genius of their clans. An elite second only to Crown Prince Crocodile is dead now. Who is Yi Shiwen? I don't know. This person emerges out of nowhere and then disappears overnight. He appeared in the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion 3 years ago, but there is no news in these 3 years. Tisk, warriors are getting bolder nowadays. These young experts are often lawless. However, since these Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan experts are here, is Crown Prince Crocodile coming? He's sheltered by Chun previously. How is it possible that the gathering is worthwhile to invite a character like Crown Prince Crocodile? This time, Yihong personally led the vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. His strength is superior to Ying. Despite having an inferior talent in comparison to Ying, he isn't someone to be underestimated. This will be a good show. Whether it is vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan or Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan, they are both sea clans. It is better for them to hurt themselves. Despicable human beings can only dream of this kind of delusion. A harsh, disdainful voice came out. When everyone looked toward the source, they saw a young man in a green robe sitting on a bench, sneering. His green eyes were snake-like. Everyone immediately recognized at first glance that it was a Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan's expert. Those diners were a little startled. After all, they said bad things behind people's backs, only to find that the person in their topic was right in front of them. Some people were wondering who this Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan's young expert was. Why didn't he go with Bai Lishuan but appeared here alone? However, his next sentence immediately made many diners angry. This gathering is boring. I don't see anyone worthwhile as an expert in the human clan. It's just some people who have no reputation. That Muse Yao can be my 99th concubine, said the Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan expert coldly. 1https://en wikipedia.org/wiki/dark_horse. Chapter 898. Chapter 898. Conflict. Brat, keep your mouth clean. How can a person like you defile Muse Yao? A macho man instantly slammed the table and stood up, glaring at the green-robed youth. Apparently, this macho man was also a supporter of Yao Qian. Inside the inn, many cold eyes looked at the green-robed youth. At this time, most of the inn's customers were humans, particularly the warriors near Sunny Bamboo Island. Sunny Bamboo Island had a far-reaching reputation for having numerous supporters. The macho man's words made the crowd rowdy. There were not only admirers but many supporters to the two muses of Sunny Bamboo Island. This brat dared to speak arrogantly, saying that he wanted to marry the muse in their hearts as the 99th concubine. He appeared reluctant in his tone too. This incited the crowd's anger. Everyone was rowdy. Hearing what this macho man said, everyone secretly applauded him. Who does this brat think he is? Is he the unparalleled sword? Yao Qian's love for the unparalleled sword was no longer a secret. Many people knew that Yao Qian had never concealed this. Faced with the angry gazes of the crowd, the green-robed young man didn't blink his eyes. He just sneered and said, It's nothing more than a crowd of mobs. After all, human clans are notoriously weak clans. With this sentence, not only the supporters of Yao Qian were irritated, but all the human clan experts on the scene were enraged. It was a direct slap on their faces. The corner of the green-robed youth's mouth raised a little. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the macho man with layers of green glow on his palm. His target was at the macho man's neck. It was a glaring intent to kill. There was an exclamation in the inn, but no one thought that this green-robed young man would dare to do so arrogantly. He did not hesitate to the fact that this was not within the Jade, Shadow, Sea, Snake clan's territory. *Xiao. Just when the macho man went into despair, a sharp sonic boom rang. A stream of light instantly streaked across in the air and headed directly at the green-robed youth's palm. *Clang. The streamer was directly inserted into the wall and dispersed. Everyone noticed that it was a chopstick which was inserted into the wall fiercely. The chopstick's tail was still shaking violently. It showed how powerful the force was when the chopstick was launched. At the critical moment, the green-robed youth avoided the chopstick attack and was not penetrated by the chopsticks on the spot. The green-robed youth's complexion turned ugly immediately. If he could not avoid it in time just now, the chopstick would pierce his hand. "Who? How dare you attack me?" the green-robed youth suddenly shouted. His snake eyes scanned over many diners. The macho man finally regained his sense. "Nothing happened to me. I'm alive." At that moment he thought he was dead. The green-robed young man was too agile. It happened too fast with no time to react. The macho man immediately looked at the green-robed youth in front of him with some horror. The strength of this green-robed youth was absolutely beyond his imagination. No wonder even if he was not in the Jade, Shadow, Sea, Snake clan's territory, he still dared to be so aggressive. "Shut up!" Then a lazy voice came from a table. Everyone looked intently, but saw that it was a young man in a white robe. He had a fair and handsome face, but with a toothpick hanging in his mouth, making him look a bit more scornful. He was holding a chopstick in his hand, constantly beating the table. The chopstick just now was launched from his hand. Yi Shiwen also took a few more glances. He was a little surprised with the white-robed youth. He was vying to make a move just now, only to find that someone had already rescued the macho man. In the end, he managed not to expose himself. It was just that the young man didn't look old. He appeared like a teenager. Although it was unwise to judge a warrior from the displayed age, it would offer some clues. It's another young expert. At this time, many people also noticed the existence of this white-robed boy. They couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. The gathering of young experts made rare young experts prevalent. They all surfaced all of a sudden, whether it is this green-robed youth or this white-robed youth. Their strength could easily suppress the crowd. "Did you attack me just now?" The green-robed youth looked coldly at the white-robed youth and said with killing intent in that pair of snake eyes, "Why are you so noisy? A filthy mouth can't utter decent language like a dog who can't spit out ivory." The white-robed boy still looked bored. "Ha ha ha." Hearing the white-robed boy's words, the human martial artist in the inn laughed immediately. The white-robed boy appeared slothful, but his words were extremely sharp. "Boy, are you in hate with your long lifespan and thus courting death?" The green-robed youth said in a cold voice. He did not make a move immediately like just now. He was quite intimidated by this white-robed boy with an unknown background. Being someone diffusing the situation at a critical moment, how could the white-robed boy be an ordinary person? "Yeah, how do you know that I despise my life being too long? I think that I still have more than 9,000 years to live. What's the matter?" The white-robed boy appeared unfazed. Many martial artists around were laughing, secretly. He looked like a naive boy. Generally, only people thought that their lives were not long enough. No one would believe that their lifespan was too long. Just now, The white-robed boy diffused the threatening words as if they were mere jokes. Just now, I would like to thank honorable youth for saving my life. The macho man quickly thanked the white-haired boy as he cupped his hand. No thanks. I was too lazy to be nosy, but this guy defiled my sister Yao. Who does he think he is? Is he worthy of being compared with my sister Yao? The white-robed boy raised his hand and said nonchalantly. He then looked at the green-robed youth coldly. It was the macho man who stood there a little embarrassed. You don't need to be so direct. You made me embarrass myself. Anyway, if I don't make a move, someone else will do it. At this time, the white-robed boy looked at Yi Shiwen. Following his gaze, everyone in the inn also looked at Yi Shiwen, which ultimately exposed Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen was calm and composed, but he didn't expect that the kid noticed him about to make a move. This kid isn't simple. This also included the fierce gaze of the green-robed youth. His murderous intent was glaring. What do you, damn humans, treat me like? Am I a clown to you all? Everyone can offend me. For him, this was simply unbearable. When did he get treated like this? But compared to Yi Shiwen, he still hated this white-robed boy more. He stared at the white-robed boy coldly and said, Who are you? How dare you to interrupt my business? Imbihanmo, I don't even bother to care about your rubbish business. But you dare to covet Sister Yao as a concubine. You're quite a bold one. The white-robe boy got serious and stood upright. When he got up, he did not stop hitting the table with his chopsticks. Damn you, kid. We're going to settle scores here. The green-robed youth was furious. Since just now he almost never had the upper hand in an argument, he could not let it continue any longer. A dagger appeared in the green-robed youth's hand and disappeared instantly. When it reappeared, the dagger had already appeared in front of the white-robed youth. The dagger streaked across the air, bringing about a trail of green flash. This white-robe boy immediately waved the chopsticks in his hand. When the green light approached, the chopsticks in his hand emitted a dim light. Boom! The green-robed youth suddenly felt an unimaginable force imposed on his dagger. The dagger in his hand almost fell to the ground. He couldn't believe it. He didn't expect that he fell into a disadvantage in the first clash. However, his reaction was fast. Immediately, he clenched it in reversed grip the dagger's handle. It instantly slid toward the white-robed boy's throat at an even more alarming speed. All this happened so quickly that no one saw it. Yi Shiwen, being the only one who saw it, shouted, Be careful! Yi Shiwen didn't expect that the green-robed youth could counterattack in this situation. This green-robed youth was not a simpleton. He was capable of reaching the Transcendent Realm's 6th level peak. The white-robed boy just gave a cold snort. With the same ordinary chopstick, it exerted the divine tool's might. Dang! With a loud clang, the white-robed boy deflected the approaching dagger. At this time, the white-robed young man made his move. He kicked out at lightning speed, sending the green-robed young man directly. The young man in the green robe was blasted away and slammed on the wall violently before his figure stopped. At this time, he was already in a sorry state. He looked at the white-robed youth with horror. He didn't know the opponent's background, only to hear the white-robed boy say coldly, Next time if I hear you coveting my sister Yao, I will kill you. Your clans won't be able to protect you. Chapter 899. Chapter 899. What qualifications does he have? The green-robed youth looked at the white-robed youth with an ugly expression. The injury from this kick was not serious, but it made him feel ashamed. The white-robed youth was obviously much younger than him, but in terms of strength, the white youth man could easily defeat him. He found this somewhat unacceptable. What he had never anticipated had happened. It was like a heavy slap, making him dizzy for a moment. After saying this sentence, the white-robed young man became slothful again and approached Yi Shiwen. He sat down in a chair in front of Yi Shiwen mindlessly. My name is Bai Hanmo. I think you are pleasing to the eye. Let's make friends. Bai Hanmo looked at Yi Shiwen and said with interest. Yi Shiwen, replied Yi Shiwen lightly. The two of them had completely ignored the sour, green-robed youth. Although this Bai Hanmo was a bit slothful, Yi Shiwen found it comfortable to mingle with such a person. The green-robed youth glanced bitterly at Bai Hanmo and then at Yi Shiwen, as if to engrave both of them in his mind. Then he quickly turned around and left. Everyone here seemed to be mocking at him, filling his heart full with resentment. You also came to this gathering organized by Sister Yao. Bai Hanmo said with a slight smile. Well, I received an invitation previously, so I came. Yi Shiwen nodded. So you know Sister Yao? Bai Hanmo suddenly became interested. We have some connection. Yi Shiwen brushed it off. He didn't know what the relationship between Bai Hanmo and Yao Qian was, but this white-robed youth always addressed Yao Qian as Sister Yao. Their relationship should be all right. That's great, let's go together. I haven't seen Sister Yao for a long time. Bai Hanmo clapped his hands and exclaimed, completely like a child. Yi Shiwen thought for a while. Initially, he planned to eat something before going, but since the change of events had developed into this, it didn't matter anymore. Okay, let's go together. The gathering of young experts was also held in the sunny bamboo Chamber of Commerce. From time to time, young experts were entering. There were many warriors spectating on the sidelines. They were either not qualified to participate, or they were older than the requirements. They came all the way to the outskirts of the sunny bamboo Chamber of Commerce, but they were stopped. What? Sister Yao and I are so familiar with each other. Do you still need me to run through the assessment? Bai Hanmo exclaimed in dissatisfaction. It turned that cultivation realm at Transcendent Realm 2nd level was the prerequisite to gain entry. Assessment was a must to prevent the warriors falling short of the standard from entering the venue. But no matter what Bai Hanmo said, the sunny bamboo Chamber of Commerce's escort was still strict. Yi Shiwen noticed that Bai Hanmo was already impatient. When he was about to explode, he unexpectedly chose to compromise and came to a massive stone monument next to him. There was a 9-boxes grid on this stone monument, each of which represented one level. As long as the warrior striked with his full might, the amount of box lit represented his total strength. Of course, this method was quite common, but it could only be used as a reference. This did not fully represent a warrior's combat strength. After all, overall combat strength did not lie only on chi or physical strength. Speed, martial arts mastery, and so on made a huge difference too. But for basic testing, it was enough. Boom! Bai Hanmo didn't say much and hit it with a punch. 4 of the 9 dim boxes lit up. Bai Hanmo did it in ease. He then glanced at the guard. Did you see that? How is it? How dare you look down on me? But seeing that the guard didn't care at all, he was a little depressed. After Bai Hanmo, it was Yi Zaiwen's turn. He hit it directly with a punch. Only 2 of the 9 hidden boxes lit up. He barely passed. Many onlookers didn't pay any further attention when they saw this result. It was just a pass. Only Bai Hanmo glanced at Yi Shiwen in surprise. He knew that Yi Zaiwen's true combat strength would be far above the Transcendent Realm 2nd level. However, Yi Shiwen managed to control his output. It was much more difficult than him showing off Transcendent Realm 4th level casually. Although Bai Hanmo was a little slothful, he was an alert person. Bai Hanmo noticed a young expert next to him approached arrogantly. He said with great dissatisfaction, "Why do I need to go through assessment? Don't he need to do that?" The guard glanced at him disdainfully and said, "He is a good friend of our young boss. A well-known expert on the top 100 list too. Naturally, he doesn't have to go through the assessment." The hidden meaning was, "Who are you? I have never heard of you." This made Bai Hanmo on the side depressed, but Yi Shiwen next to him was unfazed. He was familiar with that person. That person was none other than Qi Dong. To his surprise, This fellow also escaped from that burning corpse's pursuit. That person is Qidong. Am not mistaken. I didn't expect him to appear this time. What's peculiar about this? He also attended the previous 2 gatherings. Who doesn't know that he is also an admirer of Muse Yao? He often appears where Muse Yao is. Isn't Muse Yao the unparalleled sword's admirer? Who can be so sure of this? The discussion nearby reached the ears of the 2 of them, making Bai Hanmo even more depressed. Suddenly, he turned to Yi Shiwen and said, "Elder brother Yi, I support you to pursue Sister Yao. Compare this to Qidong. You are much better. Worst comes to worst, you're better than the unparalleled sword with facial paralysis." The unsuspecting Yi Shiwen almost choked. What the hell are you talking? Yi Shiwen was speechless. That Qidong was bad-mouthed all of a sudden. Worse still, unparalleled sword had facial paralysis. Although he had encountered the unparalleled sword twice, they had not chatted. The first time was when he was still in a restaurant, and the second time was in Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. The unparalleled sword was so fast that Yi Shiwen could not follow his sight on the unparalleled sword. That person is Yi Shiwen. Am I mistaken? You're not wrong. It is definitely him. Hiss, he is too courageous. Although the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts have relaxed a little bit on hunting him down, he actually dares to appear here. He is courting death. Indeed, I heard that Ying Dai in his hands. This gathering will become more lively. Brother Yi, you are so famous. Bai Hanmo looked at Yi Shiwen as if he was a miracle in the world, making him somewhat speechless. It would be a matter of time before being recognized. Perhaps he did not leave a deep impression on sunny Bamboo Island. At that time, everyone paid attention to Crown Prince Crocodile and Unparalleled Sword. However, with Yi Ying after dying in his hands, his popularity also soared instantly. Yi Shiwen didn't want to say anything more. He pulled Bai Hanmo in. He suddenly felt that going along with Bai Hanmo was a mistake. When Yi Shiwen entered, he found that the crowd had reached more than 200 people. Most of them were young, Transcendent Realm 2nd level experts. There were a few Transcendent Realm 3rd level and 4th level warriors standing out in the crowd. These were the young experts who were well known in the parameter. Although they couldn't make it to the top 100 list, they were also rare elite experts among the younger generation. There were at least several times this number of experts who couldn't get in. On the platform in the middle of the venue, a group of about 7 or 8 people stood on it, forming a completely incompatible scene with these people below. The eyes of the young experts below were facing the 8 warriors on the platform. Yi Shiwen looked over and saw a few acquaintances. Of course, Qidong stood on a platform. Scarlet Thunder Immortal stood beside him, which Yi Shiwen did not expect. Beside Qidong, 2 young men stood beside him, one on the left and the other on the right. In addition to them, there are 2 Sea Clan experts. One was the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, and the other was Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan. Obviously, the warrior on the platform was Yi Hong and Bai Lishuan. At this time, the 2 of them were obviously cold and hostile to each other. Thinking of what Yi Shiwen had heard previously, it must be because of Bai Qin. It was a pity that Yi Shiwen killed Bai Qin previously. He didn't inspect on Bai Chen's memory at the time, so he didn't know what happened to Bai Chen that caused him to be under Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan's pursuit. What surprised Yi Shiwen was that the previous green-robed youth was standing next to Bai Lishuan. It seemed they had a close connection. These warriors were obviously better than those below. At least they were at the top 100 list. Why don't I see Sister Yao? Bai Hanmo glanced, then asked. She is the host. She should come last, replied Yi Shiwen immediately. That's right, Elder Brother Yi. It's quite fun on the platform. We should go up too. Let's go. Bai Hanmo was a little bored when he noticed Yao Qian was not there. Then again his next thoughts excited him. Then let's go up together. It's a good opportunity to greet my acquaintances. Yi Shiwen glanced at Scarlet Thunder Immortal on the platform and said coldly. The two of them morphed into two bolts of light and arrived at the high platform. It immediately attracted the attention of the experts who were gazing at the platform. Who are these two warriors? They dare to rush up directly. Don't they know that this high platform is only qualified for the top 100? Haha, this will be an exhilarating performance. If they are not strong enough, they will probably be thrown down the platform on the spot. They are not the first. This will be interesting. Many warriors were wondering how Yi Shiwen and his partner dared to rush up. Most importantly, the spectating warriors were waiting for them to be embarrassed, as if seeing the two of them made a fool of themselves would improve the spectating warriors' mood. Chapter 900. Chapter 900. Complimenting the others, the two went up the platform and immediately attracted the attention of several others on the platform. In particular, after Scarlet Thunder Immortal saw Yi Shiwen, her face changed slightly with hatred flashed in her eyes. At this moment, a tall and elegant young expert next to her saw this scene and seemed thoughtful. Another gaze filled with hatred toward Yi Shiwen was none other than the green-robed youth who previously suffered a loss under Bai Hanmo's hand. At this time, seeing the two of them again, he was resentful. Yi Shiwen sighed in his heart. It seemed that there were no friendly warriors on the entire platform. Almost all of them were his opponents. But he didn't care. It was an excellent opportunity to have punching bags for practice. Who the hell are you two? How dare you stand here? Don't you know what this place signifies? Among the crowd, the first to react was a young man in a Chinese robe next to Scarlet Thunder Immortal. A stark contrast to the tall and elegant man beside him. Yi Shiwen hadn't spoken yet, Bai Hanmo next to him was already infuriated. Being stopped outside for assessment was enough to make him angry. If it wasn't for his sister Yao, how could he bear it? Who the hell is this? How dare he speak like this? Who are you? I haven't doubted your qualifications yet. How dare you question me? Blurted Bai Hanmo coldly. That person was enraged after Bai Hanmo's humiliation. He stared at Bai Hanmo angrily with murderous intent in his eyes. Typically, he would not be so reckless, but he was disgusted with warriors coming up the platform casually. He could not identify Bai Hanmo's strength. However, Yi Shiwen had just stepped into Transcendent Realm 3rd level. He viewed the contender to be someone minute of little significance. The so-called people of the same quality gathered up in groups. Those accompanying Yi Shiwen naturally would not be outstanding characters. Hence, he decided to take the lead and shoo these fellows away. The green-robed youth in the distance saw this scene. He smiled a little at Yi Zaiwen's trouble. He had never witnessed Yi Zaiwen's capability, but he recognized Bai Hanmo's outstanding strength. Seeing someone was about to suffer in Bai Hanmo's hands, he didn't intend to remind the warrior, but rather gloated over that warrior. If only he were miserably punished by Bai Hanmo, wouldn't it appear that he was too incompetent? However, if another person suffered the same fate, he would not appear incompetent. But just that Bai Hanmo was too strong. Just when the fight was about to erupt. Shihongru. Fellow brothers, may I know your name? The elegant young man beside Scarlet Thunder Immortal stepped forward and said with a slightly sunny smile on his face, Bai Hanmo. Yi Shiwen. The duo had no hesitation. It turns out to be Brother Yi. It is nice meeting you after hearing about you for a long time. I heard that even Yi-Ing, a vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, perished in your hands. You're quite capable. Shihongru smiled respectfully. The average person probably really thought he admired Yi Shiwen. However, Yi Shiwen heard the instigation immediately. Was killing Yi-Ing something worthy to share around? Sure enough, as soon as he said this, Yi-Hong from Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan immediately stared at Yi Shiwen murderously. When Yi Zaiwen's name was first heard, he still somewhat did not react. Although the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan had also frantically searched for Yi Shiwen, he relaxed after not finding Yi Shiwen. In the blink of an eye, a few years had passed. He almost forgot about it. Shi Hongris words alerted him. Isn't this the Yi Shiwen we are looking for? Great. Did you kill Ying? The glaring killing intent in Yi Hong's gaze shrouded Yi Shiwen. It could be laughter from anxiety, or he could be complimenting the kill. Yes, he killed Ying. I saw it with my own eyes at the time. Scarlet Thunder Immortal said, softly at this time. Just like adding fuel to the fire, Yi Hong's killing intent had intensified. Yi Shiwen was not afraid, but said indifferently, Do you think I can't kill you? His gaze was directed at Scarlet Thunder Immortal. Seeing Yi Zaiwen's gaze, Scarlet Thunder Immortal immediately recalled the moment Yi Shiwen defeated Yi Ying overwhelmingly. She immediately cringed in anxiety. Soon, her panic was overwhelmed by the resentment. She looked at Yi Shiwen without giving way. Awesome. You dare to threaten others in front of me. You're courting death. Yi Hong sneered. He hurled his claws toward Yi Shiwen with obvious space, cracks marking his trail. Yi Shiwen tapped his toes and dodged the terrifying attack like a phantom. He did it calmly without any extra movements. Yi Hong did not give up. When he was about to continue his next move, a commotion came from below. Mu Xiao is here. Mu Xiao appears. Everyone diverted their gaze and saw Yao Qian, dressed in a purple robe, descended from the sky. She appeared like a muse with fairy tale elements. Before Yao Qian arrived, her words echoed. Yao Qian thanks you all for attending my humble gathering despite your busy schedule. This gathering will be unlike the past. There will be an opportunity for everyone to duel with each other. This will be the thriller for the top 100 competition. As soon as Yao Qian stopped her words, she had already landed on the platform. Countless scorching eyes looked in Yao Qian's direction. Sister Yao! Sister Yao! Bai Hanmo ran up to Yao Qian first and greeted her with a smile. Little Amo? Seeing Bai Hanmo, Yao Qian seemed a little surprised. He didn't expect. Why did you come out? Do the family know about it? Hee, Sister Yao, you know me. I just ran out secretly. It was too boring to be locked up at home. So I came to visit Sister Yao to have fun. Bai Hanmo didn't hide it and said it out blatantly. Yao Qian glanced at Bai Hanmo, irritated. She seemed to be used to Bai Hanmo too. However, she looked at Yi Hong and Yi Shiwen, who were now facing each other. She said softly, About the grievance between you two. Do you have to resolve it right here and right now? In front of Yao Qian, Yi Hong suddenly laughed and said, Since Mu Xiao has spoken, I can't help but give you a bit of face. In the duel, accidents happen. Please don't blame me for accidentally killing him. Yi Hong seemed to be wary of Yao Qian's prestige. He decided to back down a little rather than blurting out threats without hesitation. Accidents happen in a duel. Our life and death depend on fate with no one to blame. Yi Shiwen also added, continuing from Yi Hong's words, If that's the case, I won't say much. Yao Qian sighed. Her fair and delicate face became a little down. She took a deep look at Yi Shiwen with a complicated expression. If that is the case, then everyone, please sit down. The gathering begins now. Sister Yao, let me tell you that the person in the green robe over there said that he wanted to marry you as his 99th concubine. However, I beat him up to teach him a lesson, said Bai Hanmo triumphantly as if he had done something remarkable. These words directly made Yao Qian a little bit dumbfounded. The atmosphere on the scene suddenly became cold, especially the green-robed youth whose face was flushed. He didn't know what to say, but he couldn't refute it at all. After all, it was the fact that he suffered a big loss in Bai Hanmo's hands. Mu Xiao, my clan brother, Bai Hanhai made a mistake. He didn't think much before speaking out. Please forgive him for me. Bai Lishuan could only force himself to diffuse the situation. He cursed secretly in his heart. What do you mean by the person in the green robe? I'm wearing a green robe too. However, he knew that what this kid said was true. His clan brother was well known to be lustful in the clan. Him declaring to marry Yao Qian as the 99th concubine was merely a joke. However, the atmosphere should turn too cold. The Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan was not an overlord like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. They could not provoke enemies everywhere. "It's all right," said Yao Qian calmly without even looking at that Bai Han Hai, as if looking at a passerby. Bai Han Hai's face turned blue immediately. Yao Qian being furious would be better than ignoring him like this. Since Yao Qian didn't say anything, other people were even less qualified to say anything. Everyone went directly to the platform. At this time, the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce's servant had arranged the tables and chairs neatly. Everyone was seated. The minority who could go to the platform were naturally sitting on the frontal seat area with one chair and table for each person. They were divided into two sides. The center was where everyone would have a duel later. Since it had been held twice, Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce was quite experienced. Everything was held in an orderly manner. Sitting at the center's upper end was Yao Qian, while Yi Shiwen and Bai Hanmo were seated at the end of the frontal seat area. Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce made the arrangement so, but fortunately, neither of them cared about this. "I'm lucky enough to be eligible to participate in this gathering held by Muse Yao. Am not talented either. Am willing to come here to compliment the others, so let me do it first." In the center, there was a young man with a long sword in his hand. Although his strength was not high, he had also reached the Transcendent Realm's 2nd level. Who would like to come up and give him some pointers? Chapter 901. Chapter 901. Keeping silent is a slap in the face. Who is willing to come up and give me some pointer? The man cupped his hand. He skipped the pleasantries. The time for all warriors was precious. They would rather spend every minute on cultivation, particularly for these young experts who had already attained the Transcendent Realm at a young age. They were considered the elites already. Many of them had the hope to reach beyond Transcendent Realm in the future. "Qian Yinghao is here to duel with you." Another young figure flew out. "Im Shiping." The man, who stepped on the stage first, arched his hands. The two of them faced each other with their gaze becoming cold and sharp. Their aura began to sweep out. Although they were not the experts on the top 100 list, they were still experts. Neither of them took the first move, seemingly searching for an opening from the opponent. They did not want their flaws to be exposed first. Qian Yinghao could not wait and took the first move. He wielded his long saber and slashed out dozens of saber phantoms in the sky. It was like a net formed with saber aura, covering all Shiping's escape route. Yi Shiwen nodded. The young expert eligible for the gathering is strong, unlike the petty Wu Chenhai in the past. In the face of the saber phantoms in the sky, Shiping was still composed. His offense was unlike the saber phantom that covered the sky. He dished a sword light that pierced through the saber phantoms in the sky. Immediately, the saber phantoms covering the sky shattered. Shiping's performance to counteract his opponent was splendid, but Qian Yinghao was not someone easy to deal with. The moment the saber phantom was dissipated, another saber phantom quickly followed up again. Both had an equal strength. Solely from the battlefield, the only difference would be Qian Yinghao had always taken the initiative. He had initiated most of the attacks. Thus, it gave Qian Yinghao the advantageous position that allowed him to determine how the battle would go. "Elder brother Yi, who do you think will win?" Bai Hanmo, next to him, asked. "Shiping," said Yi Shiwen lightly. "Why?" Bai Hanmo was baffled. As a matter of fact, both sides seemed to be in a stalemate, but Qian Yinghao had been taking the initiative in the duel. Qian Yinghao should have a better winning chance instead. Qian Yinghao uses saber. Saber is the hegemon in the army. The essence of his weapon is to press forward. However, it will lose out in an endurance battle. Like the saying, the first war drumming cheers them up, then the second drum weakens, while the third drum devitalizes. Qian Yinghao has no chance of winning. Yi Shiwen had always used saber himself. His understanding of the saber technique had reached a profound level. It was also because of the deduction of mysterious space that he had attainments that were difficult for ordinary people to understand. But if Qian Yinghao defeats Shiping before his aura is exhausted, he will win. Bai Hanmo still had doubt. In this respect, he was far inferior to Yi Shiwen. His growth experience was much smoother than Yi Shiwen. His understanding of many things was far less thorough than Yi Shiwen. If it's any other opponent, Qian Yinghao has a good chance of winning even if the opponent is in the same level. Unfortunately, Shiping is composed and does not move blindly. He holds onto this defensive stance. After sustaining through the initial momentum, he will last till Qian Yinghao's exhaustion. By that time, it's time to decide the victor. Yi Shiwen added. The two were almost the same in strength. Qian Yinghao only had the slight upper hand with no way to suppress Shiping completely. That was why Yi Shiwen made such a judgment. This is ridiculous. Who do you think you are? Many experts here dare not to declare the victor so soon. How dare you proclaim that Qian Yinghao will lose? A sneer came from the other side, although there were hundreds of meters of distance. For people with cultivation like them, unless they deliberately lowered their volume, it was no different from talking face to face. Everyone noticed that it was the young expert in a Chinese robe next to Scarlet Thunder Immortal. At this time, he was looking at Yi Shiwen with disdain, as if he was witnessing a joke. From Yao Qian's explanation through sound transmission, Yi Shiwen learned that this person was named Chai Jianben. He was not an expert outside the island, but a descendant of another huge force on sunny Bamboo Island. Chai Jianben was Scarlet Thunder Immortal supporter. He was strong, not worse than Yao Qian. He had already reached the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. His ranking was even higher than Yao Qian in the past. Bai Hanmo glanced at Chai Jianben angrily, but Yi Shiwen next to him seemed to be indifferent. Everyone was a little baffled, especially Yao Qian, who was looking at Yi Shiwen. In her memories, Yi Shiwen might not be a hot-tempered person, but he wasn't a good-tempered person either. At this time, he was so quiet. Yi Shiwen ignored Chai Jianben completely. He could only look bitterly at Yi Shiwen, who completely ignored him, and then returned his gaze to the battlefield. The situation in the battlefield was like a movie directed by Yi Shiwen himself. What Yi Shiwen said had taken place as if Yi Shiwen had arranged their acts long ago. Qian Yinghao was not weak, but his momentum fell short. As he approached exhaustion, he could not suppress the opponent any longer. With just an attack, Shiping defeated him completely. Seeing this result, Yi Shiwen still looked calm and breezy, while Chai Jianben had a long face. At this moment, everyone finally understood why Yi Shiwen didn't say anything. There was no need to comment any further. A real slap did not take any words. It was a slap which Chai Jianben had no way to avoid. This was the best slap in the face. Aren't you arrogant? Didn't you say that I am not qualified to comment? So what isn't it developing in the way I said now? At this time, Chai Jianben finally understood why Yi Shiwen didn't retort just now. A silent slap was better than a loud one. He felt his face scorching hot. Keeping silent was a slap in the face. At this time, Chai Jianben could only look at Yi Shiwen with spiteful eyes, as if he was looking at his nemesis. Bai Hanmo next to Yi Shiwen laughed unscrupulously. He kept giving thumbs up, as if to praise Yi Shiwen. Others would be concerned with Chai Jianben's prestige and would not be involved in shaming him. Bai Hanmo did not care at all. He was only bothered with having fun. It didn't matter to him that Chai Jianben's face was so ugly it was seemingly swollen. For this person, Yi Shiwen could only frown with resignation. After defeating Qian Yinghao, Shiping took the challenge of another expert nonstop. After beating two experts, who were also Transcendent Realm 2nd level peak consecutively, a Transcendent Realm 3rd level expert stopped his streak. For the gathering, these duels were just appetizers. After that, there are several rounds of duels followed by. As time passed, the Transcendent Realm's second-level warriors slowly stopped making moves. They just watched from a distance. The main battlefield was transferred to the hands of Transcendent Realm 5th-level expert, Chai Jianming from the Chai family. Yi Shiwen, do you dare to give me some pointers? Just when Yi Shiwen felt a little bored, a harsh sound came into his ears. He saw a blue-clothed youth standing in the middle, looking at him with piercing eyes in an attempt to challenge his bottom line. In addition to him, there were many people looking at them at this movement. Some were baffled who Yi Shiwen was. He was eligible to have a seat at the main seat area. Some people knew Yi Shiwen, but some people knew nothing about Yi Shiwen at all. Hence, this group of people was baffled. After all, Yi Shiwen only seemed to be at Transcendent Realm 3rd level. Even among them, the Transcendent Realm 3rd level was not outstanding. It could only be regarded as average, not to mention among the top 100 experts. Everyone looked at Yi Shiwen and didn't know how he would answer. Generally speaking, those experts sitting at the main seat area would not participate in the duel so soon. At worst, they would be within top 100 at a level whole lot higher than everyone else. For the average warriors, this group was in a different caliber. If these warriors were involved, there was nothing worthwhile to watch for the average warrior's duel. After all, who would be interested in the inferior ones? So no matter whether it was the crowd or those in the top 100, they would seek to participate later in the event. But Yi Shiwen was different. In the eyes of many people, Yi Shiwen had not yet proven his strength, so some people inevitably found it unacceptable. Yi Shiwen glanced at the opposite Chai Jianben with a smile. Chai Jianming openly challenged him at this time. There was definitely someone supporting him at the back. However, since the challenger was here, Yi Shiwen should not be in cowardice. Yi Shiwen smiled as he stood up and said, "If this is the case, then I will personally give you some pointers." Ha ha ha. As soon as Yi Zaiwen's words came out, many people suddenly couldn't help being amused. Chai Jianming was giving pleasantries superficially. Yi Shiwen actually grabbed his words and wanted to give pointers to him. In particular, Bai Hanmo rolled around with a smile. Chai Jianming's face flushed. Yi Zaiwen's words irritated him. He could only say bitterly, "I hope your capability is the same with your mouth." Chapter 902. Chapter 902. You only have one chance. I hope your capability is the same with your lips. Before he finished his words, Yi Shiwen had leaped into the arena. Although it was just a simple jump, it was elegant and uninhibited under Yi Zaiwen's maneuver. His understanding of the movement technique was robust. "If you're capable, don't hold back. You only have one chance," said Yi Shiwen lightly. In the eyes of many people who didn't understand Yi Zaiwen's strength, there was only one word left to describe it: arrogant. It could even be regarded as egotistical. In any case, Chai Jianming was also a famous genius in the Chai family, second only to Chai Jianben. He was treated like a child in Yi Zaiwen's words. You can only have one chance. Chai Jianming was mad at Yi Zaiwen's words. He suddenly yelled and leaped forward. His figure resembled a cannonball, and it shot out in an instant. The long sword in his hand emitted a terrifying sword glow. Chai Jianming's strength was at Transcendent Realm 5th level. In the top 100 list, it was even higher than Scarlet Thunder Immortal's previous ranking. Although it was the previous list, it was impossible for the warrior on the list to make no progress at all. There were still many inaccuracies in the top 100 list. For example, the prerequisite was that someone must participate to make the list count. Those who did not participate would naturally not be included in the ranking. So although many people were paying attention to the top 100 list, it was still a reference point. Otherwise, there would not be so many dark horses appearing every year. Even some dark horses could easily attain a high ranking. Die. Chai Jianming confronted Yi Shiwen directly. The terrifying sword aura gathered together and instantly fell in front of him. Yi Shiwen stomped on his feet with his figure, swaying slightly. That horrible sword aura passed through his silhouette, fell on the surrounding barrier, and instantly blasted ripples on the barrier. These barriers were reinforced to hold gatherings many times. The contenders were the top experts of the younger generation. All of them had their unique trump card. If the barrier were not reinforced dedicatedly, the damage would likely spread to the spectators. Without any protective measures, these young experts would probably ruin the entire sunny bamboo chamber of commerce. Chai Jiaming is so strong. I didn't expect him to grow so strong after not seeing him for a while. The local experts on Sunny Bamboo Island recognized Chai Jiaming. On Sunny Bamboo Island, Chai Jiaming was well known, like Wang Mingyu, Wang Feiyun, and Wu Qinhai on South Initiate Island. Transcendent Realm, 5th level. If he competes for the top 100 list this time, he might earn a place. It's hard to say. The top 100 list is also from the previous year. No one knows what will change. All the experts on the top 100 list are all top talents. How can there be no progress in 1 year? But even so, Chai Jiaming is quite amazing already. Yi Shiwen actually said, "You only have one chance." I am afraid Yi Shiwen is humiliated for his arrogance. It's more than humiliation. I think he will lose his life too. After most people witnessed Chai Jiaming's strength, they were more inclined to think that Chai Jiaming would win. Yi Shiwen would be considered lucky if he survived in the end. But there were also a small number of people who knew the inside story. They knew who exactly Yi Shiwen was. This minority group sneered. It was far too early to judge now. Yi Zaiwen's strength was far more terrifying than what most of the crowd thought. The majority of the crowd did not even know how Ying died 3 years ago. He was the one who killed Ying 3 years ago. In these 3 years, would he be stagnant with no progress? This particular group didn't believe it. It was a stark contrast in the actual battlefield. Chai Jiaming noticed Yi Shiwen easily avoided his sword aura. He immediately became dignified. Yi Shiwen is not a weakling. At least he is fast enough. It seems he has escaped from Yi Hong's attack with his agile speed previously. This isn't surprising, but it was just speed. Chai Jiaming didn't think it would be a problem for him. I may not be proficient in speed, but it won't be a glaring weakness. After all, I have cultivated thus far. Chai Jiaming did not stop his offense. The second wave of the offense was delivered in an instant. The terrifying sword light once again swept like a hurricane, forming a storm-like sword light, which instantly swept towards Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen still tapped his feet on the ground a little, avoiding the storm-like sword light, as if he was teasing a child. He didn't make any moves, giving Chai Jiaming a chance to show off however he liked. Chai Jiaming flushed with anger. Yi Shiwen was just a Transcendent Realm 3rd level, but he had no way to take down Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen was not an average Joe. Otherwise, things would not be the case. At this time, he regretted it slightly. He shouldn't be instigated by Chai Jianben and provoke Yi Shiwen. Since Yao Qian recognized Yi Shiwen and gave him a seat at the main seat area, how would he be a simpleton? Unfortunately, it was too late to realize it now. No matter how powerful Yi Zaiwen's movement technique is, I just have to kill him. Boom! The spot where Yi Shiwen was previously, it was blasted into a large pit. When the previous groups of people fought against each other, they could not damage the venue on a large scale even though the battle was fierce. But among the two of them, only Chai Jiaming was making moves. Yet, damages to the arena were apparent. It was conceivable that the caliber of such a fight was definitely beyond the crowd's imagination. When Yi Shiwen had just stabled his footing, Chai Jiaming had come in pursuit again like a mad dog. The offense was storm-like without any pauses. The long sword in his hand occupied the sky with sword light. He enveloped Yi Shiwen in it to cut off the opponent's forward and backward routes. This was to force Yi Shiwen to take action. At this time, Yi Shiwen was finally unable to retreat. After all, this venue was only that big, not a completely open venue. Among the experts present, they were all top experts of the younger generation. They could easily complete an attack with extensive coverage. So, the movement technique had a minimal effect at this time. This was the reason why Chai Jianming was still confident after realizing that Yi Zaiwen's movement technique was superior. No matter how good the movement technique was, it would become totally useless when there was no way to dodge it. Yi Shiwen incarnated a fireball in his hand. This ball of flame was boiling, forming a long saber eventually. Shwa! Yi Shiwen slashed with his fiery long saber, sending out an overwhelming fiery saber light to the sky. Boom! The sword light and saber light clashed with each other fiercely in the sky. The terrifying power of both sides swallowed everything wildly in midair and then twisted together. It formed a massive shock wave which swept toward both sides. Yi Zaiwen's move immediately changed countless people's opinion of him. All the experts spectating recognized what had happened. As soon as Yi Shiwen moved, they immediately noticed Yi Zaiwen's horror, which was more shocking than Chai Jianming. Especially Yao Qian on the chief's side was also slightly moved. Compared to the time when Yi Shiwen was in Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, his fiery saber technique matured a lot, escalating the output further. This was not because of the improvement in strength. He had grasped the essence of this saber technique that was just sold 3 years ago. She couldn't imagine that someone could have mastered a technique to this level in such a short period. She absolutely couldn't imagine it happening. Despite the technique at intermediate human level, it was still a technique that had entered the ranks. It is impossible to imagine that Yi Shiwen has such strength. I saw him just dodging constantly. I thought he is only proficient in movement technique, but now that I look at it, he is more than proficient in movement technique. Look at this saber technique. I am afraid he is even stronger than Chai Jianming. Yeah, I have never seen a saber technique of this level among the younger generation. No one can contend with him. Yi Zaiwen's move instantly made the spectators quiet. After a while, it was as if reaching the boiling point and the crowd was cheering. Chai Jianben saw that Chai Jianming was unable to take Yi Shiwen down. His face became ugly immediately, especially at this time when he finally saw Yi Shiwen making a move. He suddenly understood that Yao Qian allowed Yi Shiwen to sit in the main seat for a reason. This had nothing to do with Bai Hanmo. I'm afraid he isn't any simpleton. But no matter what, we have deep grudges already. Killing him is our only way out. A person like him should perish. At this time, Yi Hong squinted his eyes and looked at Yi Shiwen with a fierce gaze. Previously, he was a little surprised how Yi Shiwen could kill Ying. Anyway, Ying was in the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. He was also the top expert. Even Yao Qian would be unable to kill Ying, let alone this unknown petty man. But when Yi Shiwen beheaded Ying, more than one person saw it. Scarlet Thunder Immortal was a strong proof that Yi Shiwen killed his clan member, which forced him to believe that it was true. At this moment, Yi Shiwen showed extraordinary strength as he made his move. It was very likely that this human killed Ying. Thinking of this, the killing intent in Yi Hong's eyes was entirely beyond control. Chapter 903. Chapter 903. Hurting someone intentionally? Bai Hanhai shared the same gloomy face. At this time, he finally remembered what Bai Hanmo had said in the inn. Even if he didn't make a move, Yi Shiwen would. He did not take this sentence seriously. After all, he hadn't seen Yi Shiwen making a move, so he didn't consider Yi Shiwen a terrifying threat. But since Yi Shiwen exposed his capabilities this time, he was shocked immediately. He rejoiced secretly in his heart. If he hadn't held back in the inn at that time, he would not necessarily be the opponent of the other two. But without waiting for everyone to continue to be astonished, Chai Jiaming's real offense had arrived. The initial sword light's attack was just a preliminary attack. The real offense was the attack that Chai Jiaming followed up immediately. Driven by his qi, his long sword kept emitting clangs, emitting a terrifying sword aura. A long sword aura was summoned in the sky and slashed toward the opponent. Most importantly, if the previous sword light looked like a storm, then the current sword light was sent out like a tsunami. Concentrating all the scattered power to one point, the destructive power was a little bit stronger than just now. He had decided to claim victory in this move. Die already! Chai Jiaming's eyes were bloodshot. The chilly sword light in his hand grew in intensity. Under his sneer, the heavy sword momentum made the spectators breathless. With the addition of the sword momentum, the offense became even more terrifying. It firmly locked onto Yi Shiwen, making him unable to escape at all. In the face of such a terrifying sword momentum, Yi Shiwen did not have the slightest fear. The long saber in his hand burnt intensely. The strong wind blowing under the oncoming sword made the flame on the fiery long saber sway constantly. It appeared as if the flame would be extinguished at any time. When that hefty sword momentum approached, Yi Shiwen finally moved. He wielded the long saber and delivered monstrous fire waves, spreading out instantly. Everyone in the venue felt all the surrounding water vapor diminished. The environment became abnormally dry and hot as well. No one could hide their surprise right now. What happened in the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion was repeated. Monstrous heat waves with a scorching sensation and absence of water shocked even Ying. On sunny Bamboo Island, the most abundant was water vapor. Fire-attributed martial techniques would be suppressed, but Yi Shiwen could actually send out such a terrifying fire wave. There was no way the onlookers would not be surprised. Shwa! Yi Shiwen rushed up in an instant. With his long saber dragging along the floor, he delivered a slash, severing a crack in the air to face the astonishing sword momentum that was approaching. It was as if the sky was torn apart. Despite the space had yet to be split apart, it was still a spectacular scene. Boom! The sword momentum and fiery saber aura suddenly collided. It came a shocking explosion. Yi Zaiwen's fiery saber aura tore the sword momentum that seemed unmatched initially. It could not even hold out for a moment, like a hot knife cutting through the butter. After slashing off the sword momentum, Yi Zaiwen's fiery saber aura was cast unabated and directly fell on Chai Jiaming, who was too late to escape. In other words, Chai Jiaming never thought that the situation would become like this. He felt that this blow was definitely enough to eliminate Yi Shiwen. His strength at Transcendent Realm 5th level was not superficial. He even believed that even if he had a chance to compete for a space on the top 100 list, he underestimated Yi Shiwen, thinking that his only reliance was his connection with Yao Qian. Although it was adequate to be a way to do things, it was not something to be depended on. But now, after Yi Shiwen punt an effort, Chai Jiaming realized how ridiculous he really was. He originally thought that he was the advantageous side, possibly to reveal Yi Zaiwen's weak nature. In the end, the situation was completely reversed. Contrary to his belief, he was the weaker one instead. In the face of Yi Shiwen, Chai Jiaming was vulnerable, utterly outmatched. Could this be the real strength of those on the top 100 list? I'm not reconciled. Chai Jiaming's eyes were filled with helplessness, but it was too late. The fiery saber aura had fallen on him. Bang! Chai Jiaming's body flew out directly. A mouthful of blood spurted out. His figure hit the barrier on the side, and then he slowly slipped to the floor. Blood streamed from the corners of his mouth endlessly. The critical hit was not his body, but a psychological trauma. He had never thought that his strength had such a wide gap in comparison to Yi Shiwen. His life was so vulnerable in Yi Zaiwen's hands. This blow completely shattered all his confidence. Shattering a warrior's psyche was more terrifying than any serious injury. I have said it. I'm only giving you one chance. But unfortunately, you didn't grab it. Yi Shiwen commented lightly, without paying attention to Chai Jianming's despair. A cool breeze went by. Everyone suddenly felt chills crept on their backs, especially those who were originally dissatisfied with why Yi Shiwen was able to sit in the main seat area. At this moment, they put out their dissatisfaction entirely. What a joke! Yi Shiwen is simply a war god, capable of being enlisted in top 100. No ordinary warriors can beat him. The scene fell into silence. Only Bai Hanmo was cheering excitedly as if he was the winner. In the main seat area, there were also a few malicious gazes on Yi Shiwen. They were as sharp as a saber. The gazes were from Bai Han Hai, Yi Hong, Scarlet Thunder Immortal, and others. At this time, they all wanted Yi Shiwen to die. Brat, don't be too arrogant. You have offended our Chai family. I can make sure you won't get out of Sunny Bamboo Island in one piece. Chai Jianben stood up and said coldly, looking at Yi Shiwen coldly with his eyes. Young Master Chai, stay put. Brother Yi is a guest of my Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce. Are you going to make my Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce a laughingstock? Said Yao Qian faintly. Although the Chai family had considerable power on Sunny Bamboo Island, Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce was not afraid to confront them at all. After all, the Chai family were possibly weaker than the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce. Yi Shiwen was the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce's guest. She invited him to participate in the young experts gathering. If someone was chased and killed because of hurting a person who would dare to participate in her gathering in the future, accidents broke out in duels. It was nothing that could be completely prevented. So no matter what the situation became, Yao Qian must protect Yi Shiwen. He hurt Jianming. Don't you see it? This damn bastard, said Chai Jianben coldly. Injuries are bound to happen. It is inevitable that one will get hurt during the competition. As a warrior, don't you even have this awareness? Yao Qian was determined to protect Yi Shiwen to the end. He hurt Chai Jianming intentionally. He could have stopped, retorted Chai Jianben furiously. I will never let him go. Hearing his words, the brows of many warriors on the scene suddenly frowned. It was too overbearing. Injuries were bound to happen in fights. That was pretty normal too. Especially in that situation, the warriors thought it was absolutely impossible for them to stop after exchanging blows if they were put in the same situation. After all, once they stopped, they might die. In this kind of situation, no one would be soft-hearted. The Chai family just got to complain despite the fact. So, are we not allowed to hurt the Chai family's warriors? This is too overbearing. At this moment, the crowd inevitably shifted their support on Yi Shiwen. Young Master Chai, Yao Qian frowned slightly, and her pretty face was frosty. Chai Jianben was deliberately causing troubles. Although many warriors would not go all out in fights, those fighting would inevitably be injured. No one can guarantee that they would not be hurt. What's more, everyone saw Chai Jianming's fanatic gaze just now. If Yi Shiwen was not strong enough, he might even get killed on the spot, let alone injuries. Therefore, in the crowd's opinion, including Yao Qian, this Chai Jianben was just stirring up troubles and bent the facts to his favor. Just as she was about to speak, there was a clear voice interrupting her. I'm hurting him deliberately? Chai Jianben, I challenge you in a fight, wuss. The owner of this voice was none other than Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen was cold as the frost, staring at Chai Jianben. His gaze would pierce one's soul, challenging Chai Jianben's guts. Everyone's eyes turned to Chai Jianben, eager to see how he would respond to Yi Shiwen. Chai Jianben naturally understood Yi Ziwen's intent to challenge him. It was just like Chai Jianming's challenge just now. The purpose was plain simple, which was to cut off all the possibilities of him rejecting it. This also illustrated that Yi Shiwen had absolute confidence in himself. In other words, he considered Chai Jianben's death to be imminent. Thinking of this, Chai Jiaming broke into rage. Recalling Chai Jiaming had suffered terribly, he couldn't help it all of a sudden. Why not? It seems you have a death wish. Let me fulfill it for you. He noticed the enmity Yi Shiwen had with the Vanishing Shadow poisonous crocodile clan. He originally planned to stir up conflicts between the two sides, but he did not expect the conflict would start from him first. Since it was impossible for him to incite the conflict between the two sides first, he had to attend to it in person. Chapter 904. Chapter 904. Completely suppressed. Why don't I dare? Since you have a death wish, then I will fulfill it for you. As soon as the voice could be heard, Chai Jianben had already arrived at the arena. He could not wait to dismember Yi Shiwen due to the boiling anger in his heart. The long sword in his hand was wielded instantly, bursting with a horrifying sword light. He slashed towards Yi Shiwen without even uttering a word. It was a direct attack, albeit having the suspicion of an ambush. Since they both were already pumped up, they would not care less. His sword technique was the same as Chai Jianming, but it had undergone earth-shaking changes in Chai Jianben's hands. Chai Jianben's strength was superior to Chai Jianming, entering the Transcendent Realm's 6th level. It was different from what Yi Shiwen learned from Yao Qian. In other words, Chai Jianben had hidden his strength. The top 100 list is unreliable. Those enlisted previously must have improved a lot. If it weren't for Yi Shiwen, he would probably continue to hide his strength. After all, he was striving for an opportunity to be outstanding in the top 100 competition. However, he did not bother hiding strength anymore after being blinded with rage. Only by dismembering Yi Shiwen could he douse his anger. As soon as the long sword unsheathed, the sky and the ground were occupied with sword light, covering the entire sky in an instant. Among the innumerable sword lights, a sword light broke through the sky. Countless sword lights spun frantically around this particular sword light, forming a sword glow vortex. Boom! This sword light blasted down unscrupulously. The same sword technique portrayed an unprecedented power in Chai Jianben's hands. Brat, I didn't intend to expose my strength, but you are pushing me too much. If you need someone to blame, blame yourself, uttered Chai Jianben grimly. I don't intend to let others find out about my true strength, but since it is exposed, I must kill him. A Transcendent Realm 6th levels warrior would be able to exert any martial art technique to a power beyond imagination. Yi Shiwen had no way to match with this. He was only at Transcendent Realm 3rd level. Strictly speaking, he was only Transcendent Realm Initial, while Chai Jianben was already Transcendent Realm Intermediate, which was fundamentally different. Chai Jianben's offenses were like a tide. The onslaught of sword aura would drown a person. Yi Zaiwen's clothes were flapping. Yi Shiwen set ablaze a fireball in his hand immediately, which morphed into a long saber. The fiery long saber had its flame soared to the sky, as if it could burn to the heavens. I shall shatter your offense. The long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand slashed straight down, slamming into the sword vortex that swept towards him. Boom! The two terrifying powers slammed into each other heavily. The terrible impact turned into a shock wave and swept out in circles. The barriers that surrounded the arena started to show signs of being unstable. Everyone's expressions had changed slightly. If Yi Shiwen defeated Chai Jianming previously, everyone could still accept it. If Yi Shiwen was capable of contending against Chai Jianben, who exposed his true strength, it would be completely unexpected. How could this happen? It doesn't matter if Chai Jianming is outmatched. Why Yi Shiwen is undefeated even after Chai Jianben reveals his true strength. Yi Shiwen hides his strength too deep. Chai Jianben is already enlisted on the top 100 list. He is even in the top 50. Following the previous rank, Chai Jianben at Transcendent Realm 6th level is eligible for top 20 already. How can it be? You have already said it is the previous ranking. All of those in the top 100 are God-favored geniuses. They must have made progress. But even so, it is already astonishing for Chai Jianben to enter Transcendent Realm 6th level silently. Judging from his situation, the competition for this year's top 100 may be even more intense than the previous one. Yi Shiwen is the dark horse. If he participates in the top 100 competition, he can easily get a very high ranking. Someone added, for them, it was already a great honor to be able to enter the top 100 list. Although for many elite young experts, the top 100 list did not have much value and could only be regarded as a reference. In fact, young elite experts were far more superior to the top 100 list. If those experts flooded in, the upper ceiling of the top 100 list would soar to an extreme height. Even Transcendent Realm 6th level were not eligible to be shortlisted. It was just that many young experts simply disdained this list for various reasons. Possibly because they had been secretly trained, or they had other reasons. In short, this list could only be regarded as a reference. But for young experts in a huge population, being able to get on this list was a remarkable thing. The premise is that he has to survive. He killed Ying. As long as the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan gets news of him, they will definitely not let him go. As long as he gets out of the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce, troubles will come. Despite many people being surprised by Yi Zaiwen's strength, not many people favored him. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan posed a great deterrent power. Yi Ying, Yi Hong, and the like could only be regarded as the youngsters among the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. No one knows the upper limit of the Crocodile clan. Chai Jianben was also a little stunned at this time. Yi Shiwen was able to block it, which he did not expect. However, although he was a little stunned, he did not slow down. He sent another sword light, which instantly slashed at Yi Shiwen viciously. When Yi Shiwen was about to be slashed, countless sword lights were suddenly split, and Yi Shiwen was completely enveloped. Yi Shiwen raised a ball of flame in his hand, turning it into a fiery saber aura, and slashed horizontally. He was wholly shielded by the flame. Those sword aura swooped down, but they couldn't break through Yi Zaiwen's fiery saber aura's defense. It might be difficult to block against the dense sword aura, but Yi Shiwen found it not a problem at all. After a while, the sword aura, occupying the sky, disappeared without a trace. Yi Shiwen said coldly, "Saves your petty trick. You should show me something new." Chai Jianben was a little stunned. Unexpectedly, he could not win against Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen had mastered his sword technique to be excellent in both offense and defense. Generally speaking, saber technique and sword technique were inclined toward offensive capability, except for the minority of them with good defense. However, Yi Zaiwen's saber technique was apparently an offensive technique. However, this saber technique was capable in both defense and offense in Yi Zaiwen's hands. He must have grasped the essence of this technique to attain such an effect. Since you can't anymore, then it is my turn. Yi Zaiwen's figure suddenly leaped forward, slashing out his long saber. There was nothing fancy with it, but just a very ordinary slash. However, the slash with massive power appeared unchallenged. Dang! Chai Jianben didn't expect Yi Shiwen to counterattack suddenly. He only had time to block it with his long sword. However, a huge metal clank was heard. Two terrifying forces smashed together and swept away. Under the impact of this terrifying force, Chai Jianben took a few steps back and lost his footing. His face changed drastically. He didn't expect Yi Zaiwen's power to be so terrifying. Is he a monster in human skin? Chai Jianben's arms were slightly numb, but Yi Zaiwen's offense did not end. Instead, he took advantage of his momentum and continued the onslaught. Since there were no complicated moves, Yi Zaiwen's offense was like a wave with almost no time interval in between. He was purely suppressing the opponent with power. Nothing complicated, but just constant bombardment with violent power. Boom! 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 Everyone saw that Chai Jianben was constantly retreating under Yi Zaiwen's violent attacks. It appeared Chai Jianben had no way but to resist continuously. Yi Shiwen was not only powerful but also extremely fast. The onslaught had almost no gaps. In the martial arts view, being fast is invulnerable. With both speed and strength, even ordinary moves could exert terrifying power, just like the unbeaten embroidery needles of Dongfang Bubiyuan. Oh my God, is this the Chai Jianben we know? He has fallen into a complete disadvantage. I thought that Chai Jianben at Transcendent Realm 6th level could easily defeat Yi Shiwen, but I didn't expect that it would arrive at such a scene. This is simply beyond imagination. Is Chai Jianben not Yi Zaiwen's opponent? Even if Yi Shiwen is a dark horse, it is too exaggerated, right? Many spectators couldn't believe it. What made them most baffled was Yi Zaiwen's physical body. It had reached a terrifying level both in terms of speed and physical strength. He had exerted an incredibly terrifying power with simple moves. Is it really over? The only question left in everyone's mind was this: is it really going to end like this? 1https://en Wikipedia org/wiki/Dongfang Chapter 905. Chapter 905. This is more like deliberately injuring someone. What a terrifying physique. Yao Qian's expression changed slightly as she watched the battle. This was the so-called extraordinary talent. Yi Shiwen was way better than ordinary people. Under Yi Zaiwen's storm-like onslaught, Chai Jianben could only retreat continuously. There was no room to fight back. Damn it! Chai Jianben kept cursing. Yi Zaiwen's speed was too fast, but he didn't dare to ignore the attack. Those who watched the battle couldn't understand the horror of Yi Zaiwen's power. If he didn't block them, he would be killed on the spot. He never thought that one day he was powerless in front of simple attacks. The initially simple moves had such might after being exerted to the extreme. In this aspect, he was far inferior to Yi Shiwen. When Yi Shiwen had just attained cultivation, his mastery in this aspect allowed him to use simple moves and completely crush his opponent. Of course, what Yi Shiwen could do was not something that ordinary people could achieve. Asshole! Chai Jianben yelled violently. He swung his sword and parried the oncoming saber aura from Yi Shiwen. His arms were a little numb. Yi Zaiwen's terrifying power was fully manifested at this time. If Chai Jianben did not have much higher cultivation than Yi Shiwen, he would be killed on the spot. The long sword in his hand began to buzz. Endless sword light boiled from it. Another circle of energy rippled from the sword. A vicious beast phantom roared, echoing in all directions. Some of the people watching stood up, startled. Is this the beast soul sword? A well-informed person recognized the origin of this sword. They said that Chai Jianben got a sacrificial refine method to create a beast soul sword. I thought it was just nonsense. It turns out to be true. Gasp, a sacrificial refine method that forcefully refines the beast soul into a sword spirit and imbues it into the sword body. Yes, that's right. I thought it was just a legend. No one has seen it, and this method has long been lost on a large scale. At least on the surface, there are not many people or forces who know this method. Most importantly, this method wasn't entirely useful. The power that could be exerted depended entirely on the power of the captured soul. If it was only a mediocre soul, there was no point in having it. To capture a powerful vicious beast and refine it into sword spirit, the costs of capturing alone far exceeded the refinement process. There were very few people except for those powerful forces who would be able to utilize it. Eventually, this method was slowly lost. Yi Shiwen instantly felt the immense pressure on this vicious beast's phantom. The spectator's exclamation sounded in his ears. He immediately learned the existence of the sacrificial refinement method to forge the beast soul sword. Yi Shiwen had never encountered it before. The weaponry with similar nature that he faced in the past was Emergent's immortal exterminating saber. The Holy Realm dwellers forcibly refined the souls into the saber in a vile manner. Although this method was vicious, it had a very significant effect on improving the martial instrument. Die! Chai Jianben yelled coldly. His face was already ugly. Yi Shiwen had pushed him to a dead end. Not only was his true strength exposed, but also his trump card initially intended to be used in the top 100 competition was also used in advance at this moment. Although the warrior was not a divine fighter with invincibility toward a repeated technique, the effect would undoubtedly worsen after getting prepared. It was just like Yi Shiwen keeping his trump cards hidden. He would not consider it unless it was at the most critical time. At this moment, Chai Jianben was forced to expose his beast soul sword. He was in a desperate spot. Sha! Chai Jianben sent out a glittering sword light in midair. Accompanied with a vicious beast's roar, the sword light instantly pounced toward Yi Shiwen. When the terrifying beast darted, the entire sky was trembling crazily, as if a giant vicious beast was charging. When his foot was in the air, a terrible shock wave spread out across the sky. His roar shook the battlefield. Everyone was shocked by this vicious beast. It was a ferocious beast being locked up for many years. Once it was liberated, it went all out, boiling with anger. Its intent to vent his rage to the entire world made the spectators frightened. This vicious beast is too horrible. I'm afraid no one can stop it. Someone said with a pale face. This was the terrifying power of the experts on the top 100 list. Although many people might not care about the top 100 list's honor, their disdain only came from their capability. On the other hand, not many had such qualifications, let alone disdaining the list. In their forces, they might also be a genius-level figure. As compared with the people on these top 100 lists, there was still a considerable gap. This battle had the nature of the top 100 list. Those who could enter the top 100 list had unique skills and lost technique as their trump card. They did not expect that it would be so terrifying. Yi Shiwen could feel the fishy breath brought by the opening of the bloody mouth, which was truly terrifying. Yao Qian looked at Yi Shiwen in the arena, wondering if he would summon the phantom of the giant beast she had seen last time. Although she didn't know how Yi Shiwen was so superb, she knew that his vicious beast phantom could last for a while. With that, she knew it should be one of Yi Zaiwen's trump cards. Although Chai Jianben's trump card, Beast Soul Sword, was robust, she did not know whether it could contend with Yi Zaiwen's giant beast phantom. After all, Yi Zaiwen's current realm was too low. If they were both in the same realm, she definitely wouldn't think so. Yi Shiwen crushed his opponent overwhelmingly if on the same realm. Facing the unknown vicious beast that swooped over, Yi Shiwen didn't blink his eyes, letting his clothes flap in the wind. The fiery saber aura on his right hand was continually being suppressed like weeds in the strong wind, but no one noticed that the flame on the fiery saber aura had changed a little. It was vaguely mixed with some purple flame in it. Suddenly, Yi Shiwen moved like a launched cannonball and rushed out. The vicious beast reacted exceptionally quickly, planning to swallow Yi Shiwen in one bite. Seeing that Yi Shiwen could not resist and was almost swallowed by this vicious beast, more people stood up from their seats in surprise, watching the startling scene in front of them. If this scene appeared at the beginning, everyone would not have such a big reaction. After all, in everyone's memory, Yi Shiwen was not Chai Jianben's opponent. But the situation had changed. Chai Jianben was at a complete disadvantage under Yi Zaiwen's storm-like onslaught previously. Yi Shiwen attacked in simple moves too. Therefore, Many people were more inclined toward Yi Shiwen being the final victor. Almost no one thought that Chai Jianben could win. Optimistically speaking, they thought he would end up in a tie. But after Chai Jianben displayed his trump card, would Yi Shiwen get swallowed into nothingness instantly? What's happening here? In everyone's imagination, Yi Shiwen should be roaming around, looking for opportunities to destroy this beast soul. Unexpectedly, he was swallowed at once. Everyone's eyes widened, looking at the vicious beast in the middle of the arena. They were trying to determine whether Yi Shiwen was dead. They believed that Chai Jianben would never let Yi Shiwen go when he had even the slightest chance. Ha 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 ha. Chai Jianben laughed loudly, as if all his depression had been relieved at once. Suddenly, his face changed drastically, but he saw the vicious beast phantom suddenly begin to scream in agony. A flame burned through its back and rose straight to the sky. The flame quickly spread from its back to its whole body. In the raging fire, this vicious beast kept rolling and screaming. How is this possible? Chai Jianben couldn't believe it, because his beast soul was not a physical entity, and it was an impressive, vicious beast too. Ordinary flames couldn't ignite it. Amidst that flame, a figure jumped out of it with an incredible saber momentum. He directly descended from the sky and slashed toward Chai Jianben. Boom! Although Chai Jianben blocked the saber with his sword, he could not diminish the heavy impact. His body flew out directly. A ghostly figure chased up and slashed again with a saber. Saber fell fiercely from the top. Boom! Chai Jianben was severely slashed in an instant, shattering all his defenses. He instantly slammed to the ground, smashing a large pit directly at the arena. Puff! Chai Jianben in the pit finally couldn't help but spit a mouthful of blood. Yi Zaiwen's saber injured him fatally. Intentional injury? This is more like deliberately injuring someone. Yi Shiwen stood beside Chai Jianben, said lightly,